Batting third, the left fielder, number 28, Raul Ibanez. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 8, Kendrys Morales. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 15, Kyle Seager. Batting sixth, first baseman, number 17, Justin Smoak. Batting seventh, right fielder, number 9, Endy Chavez. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 35, Humberto Quintero. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 13, Dustin Eckley. Pitching for the Mariners, number 39, Aaron Harang.
Play ball.
Field, it's the third game of the 4-game series between the Mariners and the Twins, and later on tonight the annual Torchlight Parade through downtown Seattle that'll kick off the Seafair weekend coming your way next weekend. Aaron Harang on the mound. The windup with the pitch to Brian Dozier is in there for a strike, and we are underway. We're going to have a crowd of about 28,000, maybe more, here at Safeco Field. This series now tied at 1 win apiece. What a game it was last night. The next offer by Harang. Outside for ball 1-1-1. 13 innings as the Twins beat the Mariners yesterday by a score of 3-2. Chris Colabello hitting his first major league home run. That came in the 13th inning. The pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss by Dozier as the count is now 1-2 on the Twins leadoff batter hitting .231. Harang looks in, has a sign from Quintero, his new catcher, and he delivers outside ball 2. 2-2 the count. Felix Hernandez was absolutely sensational last night, but he comes away with a no decision. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 11. The windup and the pitch, swing and a miss by Dozier, strike 3. So Aaron Harang strikes out the leadoff batter Brian Dozier to start things off. One away for the Twins, and that'll bring up right fielder Chris Herman. Felix was So close to his first shutout of the season last night. He was 2 outs away from blanking Minnesota, but the Twins came away with 1 run in the top of the 9th inning. But Felix was just tremendous one more time. The guy on the mound is one of the few pitchers in baseball that has 2 shutouts this year. Harang, here's the pitch to Chris Herman, and it's high and outside for ball 1. Harang on May the 27th, a 9-0 shutout win against the Padres, gave up only 4 hits. Here's the windup and the 1-0 to Herman, outside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. And then on June the 11th, Harang shut out the Houston Astros 4-0 on just 2 hits. One of the best starts of the year by any pitcher for the Mariners this year. 9 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 10. Here's the pitch, misses, ball 3, and it's 3-0 on Herman. But overall, Aaron Harang with a record of 5-8 and a 5.06 ERA. The windup and the pitch, strike called, and the count is now 3-1. Good to see Humberto Quintero in a Mariners uniform. Just showed up yesterday. Mike Zunino placed on the 15-day disabledist, out with that broken hamate bone in the palm of his left hand. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss by Herman. The count full 3-2. So that's bad news for Zunino, who was playing so well since coming up from the minor leagues, AAA, about a month ago. So he's going to be out about maybe 4 weeks. The 3-2 pitch, check swing. Does he go? And he doesn't. The pitch is outside for ball 4. So Chris Herman with a walk, 1 on and 1 away, and that'll bring up first baseman Justin Morneau. No score, top of the 1st inning. But Humberto Quintero is now the 7th Mariner catcher used this year.
There's been a lot of them, and as Zunino said the other day, his biggest challenge, aside from actually working himself back onto the field, is how can he continue to develop? How can he continue to get better while he's sidelined with this injury?
I like what he said. We'll get to it in a second. Here's Justin Morneau, the set by Harang. Aaron looking for a ground ball. Here's the pitch on the way. Morneau takes a little bit low for ball 1. He said, you know what, the one thing I can do is be a great teammate. Back my teammates while I'm going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully it won't be 6 weeks, but because it's different for everybody. But you know he's going to put in the work as much as he possibly can with that injury. The stretch. And the 1-0 pitch to Morneau. Curveball low and inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
And as former Mariners catcher Dave Valley said, he said it with a grin. The way he phrased it was pretty funny, but it's true. He said it's a chance for some quality time with some of his pitchers and a chance to really sit down, be in those meetings with the pitchers and the catchers, talk to the guys, especially after their starts, and continue to foster those relationships with the staff of the Mariners and continue to build those relationships.
I tell you what's going to be fun watching him throughout his career, just coming up a short time ago. But right now he's on the shelf, Mike Zunino. Harang looks in, gets the sign. Here's the stretch. And the 2-0 pitch. Morneau swinging a pop-up out of play in the third base side as the count goes to 2-1. Game time temperature this afternoon here in Seattle. A sunny 65 degrees. Today's environment report has been brought to you by Eco Products. Eco Products compostables, leading the movement for zero waste here at Safeco Field and around the world. Infield double play depth. Miller at short. Franklin at second. The pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3-1. Morneau batting .264, 7 home runs and 52 runs batted in. Joe Mauer still not here. He's back home with his wife, who 3 days ago gave birth to twins. Here's the stretch. And the 3-1 pitch. Morneau takes, and it's up and away. Ball 4. So back-to-back walks given up by Harang. And the Twins have runners on at first and second with 1 out. Top of the 1st inning. That'll bring up catcher Ryan Doman. The 7 catchers used this year by the Mariners. Quintero making his Mariner debut. This guy's been around for a long time. Came up in 2002 as a San Diego Padre. Quintero, Blanco, Bance, Zunino, Sucre, Shopik, and Montero. 7 catchers. Last time the Mariners used 7 catchers, Gary Hill looked it up back in 2005. Harang a look back the stretch, and the right-hander's pitch on the way to Doman. Up and away, ball 1. Harang known for his control. He's walked only 16 batters all year in 16 starts. His last outing here at home on July 22nd came away with a 2-1 win over the Indians. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. And a fastball tied him up a little bit, and the count is even on Domin at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now for Harang, who already has 2 walks, 1 out into the ball game, he's only walked more than 2 batters 1 time this year. That's when he walked 3 a couple of starts ago against the Red Sox.
Walked only 1 his last time out against Cleveland in that win. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul back by Domin, and the count is now 1-2. And in that start, he gave up a home run in the first inning to Nick Swisher, and then that was it for the Indians. Besides that, Harang was going on 11 days rest because of the All-Star break, and pitched very well. He said he had more bullpens between the 2 starts. Here's the pitch, inside with a fastball for ball 2. 2-2 on Domin. Last 7 outings, he's 3-2 with the 3.40 ERA. His first 9 starts of the year, he was 2-6 with an ERA of almost 6.5. Runners their leads, and the 2-2 swing and a foul back and out of play, and the count stays even on Domin, hitting .236. He has 9 home runs and 42 runs batted in. And this is the one guy that Harang has got to have in his crosshairs, because he's faced him a lot over in the National League. Domin 11 for 32 against Harang, a .344 average with 3 home runs. Runners get their leads, 1 out, 2 on. The pitch, swing and a fly ball to the left field. Backing up Ibanez. Raul is there, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. The throw to third is cut off by the shortstop Brad Miller, so Domin flies out the other way. 2 on, 2 outs for the Twins here in the first. No score. And the batter will be designated his hitter, Chris Colabello. Colabello had a big night last night in the big leagues for the first time after spending 7 years in an independent league. And in last night's game, in the top of the 13th inning, hit his first major league home run, and it was that home run that broke up a 1-1 tie. A 2-run home run by Colabello. The Twins had a 3-1 lead. Mariners got a run back, but that would be it. A 3-2 loss to Minnesota. Here's the pitch, and Colabello takes outside, ball 1. Colabello hitting .150 with that 1 home run and 3 runs batted in. And Aaron, I enjoyed your interview with Chris before the ball game. The family that got that home run ball was able to give it back to Chris after the game down by the clubhouse. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and a swing and a miss by Colabello, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the little girl who had the baseball didn't want to give it up. She was crying.
She didn't. And hearing Colabello's response of, "I'll give you anything you want," to get that ball back. And I don't think he felt that badly about it, but he certainly did not want the little girl to be in tears.
Right.
And he was able to get her all the Twins swag that she needed.
The stretch and the 1-1 on the way. Colabello swing and a miss. Went fishing for an off-speed pitch down and away. As the count goes to 1-2.
He said that his parents on their mantle will now have 3 baseballs. His first major league hit, his first major league run batted in, and now his first major league home run.
What a story for this kid, Colabello, who was at Rochester this year and hit .354 with 24 home runs. He calls time and he backs away from home plate. Twins have Herman out at second. Morneau, the runner, at first with 2 down. The infield way back on the left side for Colabello, a right-handed hitter. Seager deep at third, Miller deep at short. Heels on the outfield grass. Harang a look back, and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball is outside, ball 2. 2-2. So Harang has thrown his share of pitches. 26 pitches already here in the top of the first inning. Remember, we played 13 innings last night. Aaron looks in, gets a sign from Quintero. The runners their leads. The stretch and the 2-2 on the way to Colabello, and here she comes, swinging a ground ball to Franklin at second. He's got it, sets up, throws the first in time to get Colabello, and that will end the inning. So Harang gets out of a jam here in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 are left on for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the first. Our score, Minnesota 0, and the Mariners coming up. It's the Twins nothing, and the Mariners coming up here in the bottom of the first on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in Seattle. Remember, after the ball game, the Torchlight Parade in downtown Seattle to kick off Seafair here in Seattle. Brad Miller will lead things off against 29-year-old right-hander Sam DeDuno. DeDuno's 6-4 record with a 3.50 ERA, making his 12th start of the year. He started off the season at AAA Rochester. So here's Brad Miller to lead things off. Very aggressive early in the count. Pitch on the way, and he takes this one for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Miller batting .228, 2 home runs, and 15 runs batted in. Here's the windup and the next offer. High, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. DeDuno has a fastball 91 to 94, and at times the fastball at 91 looks like a slider. It has some tilt to it. Pitch on the way. And that misses down and away. A changeup for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Miller. DeDuno doesn't throw his changeup all that much. He's basically a fastball curveball pitcher. Next offer on the way. A strike on Miller, and the count is even at 2-2. But his curveball is more like a hard curveball. That pitch between a slider and a curve. Slender right-hander, 6'3", 190. The windup and the 2-2. Way inside as Miller backs away from ball 3. The ball pops out of the glove of the catcher Ryan Doumit. Nick Franklin is on deck. He'll be followed by Raul Ibanez. DeDuno was with Minnesota last year, 6-5 in 15 starts. He originally came up with the Colorado Rockies in 2010. Here's the pitch, swung on, one hopper back to the mound, knocking it down off the glove. DeDuno recovers the throw to first, and it's in time to get Miller. On his follow through, DeDuno was falling off to the first base side of the mound, and he was able to reach to his right, get a glove on it, and the ball stayed right at his feet, and he's still able to make the play, 1 out.
That's an impressive play from DeDuno. After he's able to regain himself and pick the ball up, that throw comes with his left foot still on the front slope of the mound, and sometimes we see pitchers throw very erratically to first base, especially if they're rushed, and if their feet aren't level like his were. That's a nice job by DeDuno.
So 1 away for the Mariners. Their second baseman Nick Franklin. He takes high and outside for ball 1 in a game that went 13 innings last night. Franklin was 3 for 6. He had an RBI, giving the Mariners a 1-0 lead in the 5th inning. Here's a swing and a pop up behind home plate. It's out of play, and the count is even on Franklin at 1-1. And with the way that Felix Hernandez was pitching last night, it looked like that 1 run was going to be enough.
It felt like about a 5-run lead.
Yeah. Felix had everything working, but then out of 103 pitches, he said, well, he maybe made 2 mistakes last night. And one was on a changeup that was left up in the strike zone, and pinch hitting Trevor Plouffe got a base hit to drive in a run that tied the game in the 9th. Here's the pitch inside for ball 2. 2-1 on Nick Franklin. But Hernandez had some kind of great stuff last night. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's just outside, ball 3. 3-1. Mariners now at 49-54 as they look for their 50th win of the year. What a turnaround it's been over the last few weeks for this club. The windup and the 3-1, strike called, full count on Franklin. The Mariners over the last 21 games have gone 14-7. They have won 9 of their last 11. Here's the windup and the 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss by Franklin for strike 3. And the Mariners have 2 down here in the 1st inning. Strikeout number 1 for DeDuno. Say, baseball fans, save big bucks on Ram trucks. Head to Dwayne Lane's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Everett for a huge selection of Ram trucks, and you're going to save big bucks. And tell them Rick Riz sent you. Here is left fielder Raul Ibanez. Fans still filing into the ballpark this afternoon. Ibanez looking for his first hit of the series. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a little bit high, ball 1. Raul hitting .254, leads the ball club with 24 home runs, 56 runs batted in. The pitch, curveball, strike on the inside corner, 1-1. DeDuno winning his last 2 outings against the Angels on this road trip from Minnesota and in New York. The 1-1 pitch, low, ball 2, 2-1. In his last outing against the Angels. DeDuno went 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, no, make it 5 walks, and he struck out 5. Then he beat the Yankees in New York. The windup and the 2-1 pitch, swing and a foul off to the right side of home plate, and the count evens up on Ibanez at 2-2. On deck for the Mariners, designated hitter Kendrys Morales. DeDuno doesn't waste any time between pitches. Swipes at the dirt on top of the rubber with his right foot, looks in, gets a sign from Ryan Domit, and the 2-2. Swing and a miss by Ibanez for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for DeDuno, and that's it for the Mariners in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the top half of the second on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Seattle. Mariners nothing, the Twins nothing. Mariners and the Twins, no score on this Saturday afternoon here in Seattle. Clete Thomas will lead things off for Minnesota, followed by third baseman Trevor Plouffe and then center fielder Aaron Hicks. Aaron Harang worked out of a jam in the first inning. He winds, he delivers, and it's up and in, ball 1. Harang threw 27 pitches in that first inning, walked Herman and Morneau with 1 out, but then he was able to come back and get Domit to fly out to Ibanez in left, and he got Colabello to ground out to Franklin at second base. Next pitch is inside, ball 2.
The consistent trend for Harang in that first inning was missing with the first pitch.
Next offer is in there for a strike on Thomas. 2-1 the count.
His last 5 batters, he has fired a first pitch ball, and there are a few pitches in baseball better than a first pitch strike, of course.
And the 2-1 offer swung on, fly ball into shallow left field, going out calling for it, looking up into that Saturday sunshine is shortstop Brad Miller. He's there and he makes the catch, 1 away. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. One out, nobody on. Top of the second, no score. Here's third baseman Trevor Plouffe, and he takes a fastball from Harang for a strike. 0-1. Close ball game last night. 13 innings. Twins come back and win it by a score of 3-2. Here's the windup and the next offer. Swing and a miss at a fastball, and the count is 0-2. In close ball games, you think that there's enough speed on clubs where you can steal a key base to get yourself into scoring position, but you really haven't seen a lot of stolen bases in baseball anymore. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's high for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So I was talking with our pre and post game show host who knows his facts and loves the history of the game of baseball. We were talking about stolen bases down through the years. Here's a swing and a fly ball, foul, and out of play down the right field side. And the count is still 1-2 on Plouffe. And I asked Gary Hill, I said, Gary, can you find out the number of guys who would steal about 30-40 bases in a season down through the years? Here's the pitch on the way. Check swing. It's low and outside, ball 2. And the count is even on Plouffe at 2 balls and 2 strikes, because we just haven't seen big stolen base totals the last really 10-15 years. Jacoby Ellsbury can steal. Next offer, swing and a pop up into shallow right field. Coming in is Endy Chavez. He's there, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Well, Gary looked it up, and back in 1983, that was my first year with the Mariners along with Kevin Kremen, there were 32 players that stole 30 or more bases. In 1987, they were still stealing bases. Again, 32 players with 30 or more stolen bases. Now fast forward to this year, 2013, only 4 players, just 4 players have stolen more than 30 bases. Here's the pitch on the way to Aaron Hicks, and he takes a look at ball 1.
That's amazing, the drop off there.
You just don't see big stolen base totals. The windup and the 1-0 pitch on the way, and it's a strike on Hicks, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. I was talking with, what got me going on it was I was talking with Dan Gladden, who could steal a lot of bases. Danny played for a long time in the 80s and the 90s, and now is the voice on radio for the Twins. The windup and the 1-1 pitch, high and outside, ball 2, 2 and 1. And over the last 20 years, more emphasis on, well, smaller ballparks. Let's face it, bigger guys in that steroid era. Now they're trying to take care of that situation. The windup and the 2-1 pitch, swing and a foul tip by Hicks into the glove of Quintero, and the count is even on Hicks now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So you just don't see a lot of stolen base attempts.
You really don't. And it's not as if there aren't guys out there who can run, especially in this division.
Rang looks in, gets a sign. The windup and the 2-2 to Hicks, swing and a ground ball, foul on the first base side. Mariners have a kid in the organization by the name of James Jones, and I looked him up. He's got 23 steals at, I think, he's at Double-A Jackson. But you love to see that guy come up that has the ability to put the fear in a pitcher-catcher combination, knowing he can steal a money bag late in the ball game. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul, backing out of play by Hicks, and the count is still 2-2.
Now, to me, one of the most baffling this season is Peter Bourjos. Now, granted, Bourjos has spent some time on the disabled list a couple of times, hamstring injury.
But when he was healthy,
he very well could be the fastest man in baseball, and he had maybe 2 steals.
That was it at that time. The 2-2 to Hicks, low and inside with a breaking ball, ball 3. And you count 3-2.
And you can tell when you ask Peter about it, when you ask Mike Scioscia about it, there's just something there. And for some reason, Mike Scioscia isn't sending Bourjos.
Yeah. And that was an organization with Mike Scioscia that would run a lot. The 3-2, swing and a pop up out of play in the left field side, and the count is still full on Hicks.
And for a guy like Bourjos, the threat you see him bring if he's not stealing bases, Nick Franklin said that he's never played further in on the infield than when Bourjos is at the plate, because Bourjos knows, and he said this, that he's learned that he doesn't have to square a ball up to get on base with a base hit.
Now the 3-2, swing and a pop up out of play again on the third base side. No shot for Kyle Seager. Still 3-2, and this is a 9-pitch at bat for Aaron Hicks. Now here's a kid that can fly, and we can see him in this series cover all that ground in center field. He made the play the game defensively, robbing Henry Blanco of an extra base hit. Diving catch deep in left center field, that would have led to a run in a 1-0 game at the time. Harang ready, back with the 3-2, swing and a foul over the screen behind home plate, and it's now a 10-pitch at bat for Mr. Hicks, hitting 197 for the year, 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. But Danny and I looked it up. He has 8 steals on the year in just 11 attempts. Harang ready. Good battle right here. Pitch number 11 on the way. Swinging a line drive. Pulled foul down the right field line into the seats. Still 3-2 on Hicks. And the next pitch will be number 12 of the at bat. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the second, no score. Harang takes a big sigh up on the hill, has the sign from Quintero, his new catcher. Again, the 3-2 offer, and it's strike 3 called, and that will retire the side. Strikeout number 2 for Aaron Harang, and Hicks dropped the bat. He thought it was going to be ball 4. So on pitch number 13, he strikes out Aaron Hicks, and that's it for Minnesota. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the second. Mariners nothing, and the Twins nothing. Designated hitter Kendrys Morales leading off the bottom of the second. Mariners and the Twins no score, and here's the pitch by DeDuno, and it's low for ball 1. Morales batting .281. The windup, and the next offer, a breaking ball, is low. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Morales now with 16 home runs and 58 runs batted in. He had a leadoff home run in the bottom of the 13th inning to make it a 1-run game. Next offer, swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. And that home run he hit last night was to straightaway center field to make it 3-2. Kyle Seager followed with a hit, but then there was a double play ball, and the Twins hung on last night to win 3-2 in 13 innings. The pitch, low and outside, ball 3. 3-1.
Now Kendrys is one of those guys who can really shrink Safeco Field, and he can hit it out to center. It seems like as easy as he can pull it.
Outstanding power from both sides of the plate. A swing and a pop up out of play on the left field side into the crowd as the count goes to 3-2. Well, their stock is rising, brought to you by StockCharts.com. Focuses today on outfielder Nate Melendres, who has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games down at Class A High Desert. And over the last 8 games, batting .406. 3-2 pitch, swing and a line drive, right field line, fair ball. In toward the corner, all the way to the wall. Morales heading for second, up with the ball, Herman. The throw to second, Kendrys goes in, standing up with a double to throw a little offline. Bernier, the shortstop, had to go get it. So Kendrys with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the second. He ran out from underneath his batting helmet on the way to second base. A bullet off the bat of Morales into the right field corner. Here is third baseman Kyle Seager. We were talking about young Nate Melendres hitting safely in 7 of his last 8 games. Brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts, as we take a look at some of the youngsters coming up through the Mariners organization. Here's Seager, and Kyle with a swing and a pop up sky high out of play in the first base side. That little white dot in the background of the powder blue sky high above the ballpark. And it's 0-1 on Seager.
You know, for Seager, Rick, I'd even say this is a Tar Heel blue sky.
Exactly. It's the same color.
Absolutely. Carolina blue.
Tar Heel blue.
Don't tell Justin Smoke that.
No, he's from South Carolina.
Different sky down there.
A little different color. Maroon, right?
Yeah.
Colors maroon. Here is the stretch by DeDuno and the 0-1 swing and a foul off the catcher Domit. 0-2 the count. Seager batting .292. He has 16 home runs and 47 runs batted in. Had a good night last night. He was 3 for 6. Mariners just couldn't get that extra run for Felix. They got a run for him in the 5th. The Mariners were 1 for 8 last night with runners in scoring position. Morales, the lead at second base. No score. Bottom half of inning number 2, and now too much time as Seager calls time and he backs away from home plate. Kyle back up there. DeDuno from the stretch, and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Already the 3rd strikeout for Sam DeDuno, and 1 away for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 2nd. Well, friends, join us right here at Safeco Field on Friday night, August the 9th, for an on-field luncheon honoring the newest member of the Mariners Hall of Fame, Ken Griffey Jr. Be on hand as the big unit. Edgar, Dan, Bone, Alvin, and many other special guests recognize the outstanding career, Hall of Fame career of number 24. Space is limited, so reserve your spot now at mariners.com/HOF. A luncheon on field right here on Friday, August the 9th, honoring Ken Griffey Jr. Here's Justin Smoke, and he takes a changeup for a strike, and the count is 0-1. He'll be inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame the following afternoon on August the 10th. So get your tickets in advance. Junior coming back home. And just a couple of years from now, he'll be going into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. First ballot guy, you better believe it. 1 on, 1 away, no score. The pitch to Smoke is a strike called on the inside corner. The count is 0-2.
For that luncheon, Bob Christopherson, the head groundskeeper here at Safeco, has made it very clear he's hoping that no one spills anything on his carpet. He will have to transform his field to a dining area, which, if anyone can do it, Bob and his crew can.
After the concert last week with Sir Paul McCartney here's the pitch on the way, and it's down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The field is in pretty good shape. As a matter of fact, excellent shape, considering the fact they had thousands of pounds of staging equipment, lighting, sound, speakers, trucks to move equipment. Bob Christopherson and his grounds crew a great job to get the field ready after that concert. When the Mariners were on the road down in Houston. Here's the stretch, and the 1-2 to Smoke, low and inside. It bounces in, knocking it down. The catcher Domit, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we understand from everybody that we talked to that Mr. McCartney gave a tremendous concert, sang about 42 songs, and went straight through for almost 3 hours.
Never took a break.
Imagine that. He gave his band a little time off, but he would sing a cappella for about 2 or 3 songs and just keep right on going. At the age of 71, still rocking out. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss by Smoke for strike 3. Another strikeout for Sam DeDuno. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 4th. 4 strikeouts already in the ball game. 1 on and 2 away. And here is right fielder Endy Chavez.
And he's only 1 shy of tying his strikeout total from his last start. An impressive win over the Angels. He went 7 innings and he struck out 5. So DeDuno far ahead of his strikeout pace for what it's worth here today.
Strikeout high for the year is 6 against the Indians in Cleveland. Here's the pitch on the way to Endy Chavez, and it's low, ball 1. Once again, a special hello to Mariner manager Eric Wedge, resting and recuperating after he suffered a mild stroke 6 nights ago prior to the opening game of the homestand. Skip, hope you're well, buddy. Next offer on the way, low and inside, and it bounces away from the catcher Domit all the way to the backstop, and down to third base goes Kendrys Morales on a wild pitch from DeDuno. And the count is 2-0 now on Chavez. Domit was unable to knock it down. It got behind him, so Morales is now on at third base with 2 outs. Chavez came on later on in last night's ball game and was 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Both hits the other way to left field. Dunno looks in, has a sign. Here's the stretch and the 2-0 pitch. Strike called in the outside corner. 2-1. I understand that Eric Wedge is back home and resting, doing very well. So Skip, take care of yourself and hope to see you at the ballpark when the Mariners get back home from their road trip. Here's the pitch way inside, and that almost got away again from Domit. Ball 3. 3-1 on Chavez. Mariners wind down the homestand in the series with the Twins tomorrow. Game time is 1:10. Erasmo Ramirez against Kyle Gibson. Then on Monday we head to Boston and Baltimore. Dunno looks in. Morales will lead at third base. The stretch and the 3-1 to Chavez. Swing and a fly ball, slicing foul and out of play down the left field side, and it's a full count. 3-2. Make your plans. Coming on by Safeco Field tomorrow. Final game of the series with the Twins. Mariners have won 5 of their last 6 series. Here's the stretch and the 3-2 offer. Swing and a ground ball right to the second baseman. Dozier scoops the throw to first in time to get Chavez, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit. And 1 man left stranded at third base. And we go to the top half of the third. Our score: the Mariners nothing, the Twins nothing. Mariners and the Twins, no scores. We go to the top half of the third. What a day out for baseball here in Seattle. For the play-by-play, here's Aaron.
All right, Rick, thank you so much. You're not kidding. This is another perfect day to be out at Safeco Field. No place better to be in Seattle today than right here at the ballpark. Doug Bernier, the number 9 hitting shortstop in his 5th game this year for the Twins, leads things off. No score so far as we open up the 3rd inning. The line and the toss from Harang, and it's outside and low. Bernier 3 for 9 so far this season in the major leagues. 2 RBIs, the 1-0 pitch, and it's low and outside. Harang today making his 17th start as a member of the Mariners. He kicks and fires home the pitch, and there's a strike call. And they're at 88 miles an hour. Harang uses his fastball a lot. Fastball that averages just about 90 miles an hour. The 2-1 coming, swung out and missed. There's a heater. Last start for Harang, that was against the Indians. He used his fastball just over half of the time. The pitch home, Bernier swings and he pops it up on the right side of the infield in the sunshine. Franklin waves his arms. He calls off Smoke, and about 10 feet into shallow right field, Franklin makes a two-handed catch staring up into the sun. Bernier pops to second, and there is out number 1 here in the third with no score. That brings in Brian Dozier. Well, this season, the Mariners and Luna Family Hearing are partnering for Senior Sundays at Safeco Field. All fans 60 and older receive $5 off select view or $10 off select main level seats for all Sunday afternoon games. Harang's pitch bunt is shown, and Dozier takes outside. The next event is scheduled for tomorrow, right here at Safeco Field against the Twins. First pitch at 1:10. Tickets available at the Safeco Field box office with valid ID. Harang to the plate, bunt once again. It's trickling up the third base line. Here is Seager. Barehand play, throws on the run, and it's there in time to get Dozier. Phenomenal work there from Kyle Seager as that ball just tiptoed fair up the chalk slowly to third base, and Seager, with no hesitation, charges. He takes it out of the grass with his fingertips of his right hand. He throws across his body, and Dozier is out on the bunt attempt. 5-3. We have seen Kyle Seager do that time and time again this year, and you never get tired of seeing the Mariners third baseman with those terrific plays defensively. Pitch coming to Herman, and he takes a strike. Right there, a fastball, 89 miles an hour from Harang. Herman walked back in the first inning. The kick and the pitch home, and it's up and in. A little bit of a check swing on his movement. Trying to limbo back. He does not go around, so the count evens up. Well, today we're doing a little something different with social media and the broadcast. You can always follow the Mariners on Twitter. The 1-1, and he takes outside. 2 balls and a strike to Herman. Follow the Mariners on Twitter at Mariners, and you can use the hashtag AskMarinersRadio. And today on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, hope you're outside. Tell us where you're listening from. The 2-1 pitch, and it's cut on and missed. Fastball in on the hands. He had a little extra on it. And Herman now at 2-2. So just tweet to @Mariners, hashtag AskMarinersRadio, where you are and what you're doing today. The pitch, fouled over the screen. Count stays put 2-2. Would love to know what you're up to as you tune into the Mariners and the Twins here today from Safeco Field. Game 3 of this 4-game series. It's tied and 1 game apiece. 2 outs, bases empty, no score. The pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen. Top edge of Herman's bat just got a piece. And the number 2 hitting right fielder for Ron Gardenhire stays alive to see at least 1 more pitch. Ackley in center, shade slightly over to left field. The offering coming, and it's outside, a full count. And remember, you could always vote for your player of the game after every win. Just use the hashtag MarinersPOG. The payoff pitch coming, and another foul ball back on the line of the screen. It was Aaron Hicks back in the 12th inning who had a 12-pitch at-bat at end of the second. He struck out looking, and he thought he took ball 4. Was frozen on a fastball from Harang. Once again, the 3-2 on its way, and it swung on and missed. There it is, another 92-mile-an-hour heater, just like he got Hicks, only this time Herman goes down swinging, and the side is sat down in order from the Twins in their half of the third. We go to the bottom half. Mariners nothing, and the Twins nothing. Well, here we go to the bottom of the third from Safeco Field. The Mariners and the Twins scoreless. Seattle with the only hit in this ball game. It was a leadoff double to right field from Morales to begin the second. It is Humberto Quintero, the new Mariners catcher, to lead things off. His first at bat in a Seattle uniform. Quintero ready, and the first pitch coming, and it's low, and it gets a piece of Quinn Walcott, the home plate umpire. And Deduno has his hands on top of his head, and he's hoping that Walcott, who he's hopeful will give him a break with some calls, that every pitcher is all right. And it looks like Walcott is, as the catcher for the Twins. Today that is Ryan Doumit walks out, and it's some courtesy time as that caught Walcott right off the upper inner thigh. So that is ball one. Umpires in their baby blue tops, their gray slacks. Deduno sets at the chest, and his 1-0 pitch coming, and it swung on and fouled back. This time almost right through the wickets that time of Walcott. Pretty close. They better watch out. 1-1 to Quintero. Up next is Ackley. He'll be followed by Brad Miller. Deduno sets, rocks, and fires away, and the pitch is lined foul, barely foul at the third base line. Right in front of the belt of third base coach for the Mariners, Darren Brown. So it's 1-2. Quintero was in Houston when he got the call from the Mariners, and he really had to hustle to get to Seattle. 1-2 pitch on its way, a check swing, and it's low and outside, escapes the grasp of Doumit, and the count squares up 2-2. After all, with Mike Zunino going down yesterday, well, really the day before, but unavailable for yesterday's game, the Mariners were entering last night with only one catcher. The 2-2 pitch, and it's well outside. Fastball sailing away from the right arm of Deduno, and that makes it a full count. So Quintero really had to hustle from Houston to Seattle and get to the ballpark in time. And here already he's getting a start for the Mariners. Lewine and the payoff pitch, it swung out and missed. He spins around like a top, chasing a changeup. And Quintero, well, apparently that is not strike three. He just got a piece. We see it on the replay. He just gets a piece. Pitch coming, he swings and bounces it foul. So never mind the strikeout, as Quintero got a chance to look at the replay briefly. Just, and I mean barely, got a piece to nick it downwards. So now he's fouled off a couple. Quintero ready. Here's the 3-2, and he bounces it foul over on the third base side by the camera well. Mariners and the Twins scoreless. Deduno already has 4 strikeouts today. Right-hander stares home. He takes his target at the sign from Doumit, and the right-hander's pitch, strike 3 call. Got him looking at 91 after a little bit of a battle there from Quintero. The Mariners catcher strikes out looking, and there is out number 1. And for Samuel Deduno, 27-year-old righty from the Dominican Republic, that makes for his 5th punch out of the ball game already, and that ties a season high. Pitch coming to Ackley, and it misses low for ball 1. Deduno struck out 5 back on June the 4th. That was on the road at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. A 6-inning scoreless win. The 1-0 pitch, Ackley swings and he tops it over to second baseman. Right there is Dozier. It's right to his chest. He gobbles it up, throws to first, and Ackley is out 4-3 for out number 2. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. First pitch coming home to Brad Miller, and it rises high and outside. Brad 0 for 1 today, was out on a pretty nice play by Deduno in the first inning. The 1-0, and he takes low. Brad bounced it back and off the glove of the Twins starting pitcher in the first, and Deduno knocked it down, was able to recover and throw with 1 foot on the front side of the slope and get Miller out at first. 2-0 pitch, and it's low and away, so Brad quickly up at the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Samuel Deduno enters the ballgame today with the lowest first pitch strike percentage among all pitchers in Major League Baseball. The 3-0, there's a strike to push it to 3-1. Historically this year, Deduno, today making his 12th start, fires a first pitch strike just over half the time. The 3-1, it's cut out and missed, and Deduno battles back, and he's got the count full to Miller. If you want to get really nitty gritty, 50.7% of the time a first pitch strike, lowest in the majors. Payoff pitch to Miller, swinging a bouncer up the middle. It chops over, diving, and Bernier, the shortstop, can't get to it. Looked like he might have a play to stop it. It's into center field. But even if Bernier gets to that ball with Miller's wheels, you have to figure Brad would have been safe at first base either way. And he has a single up the middle. It's fielded by Hicks in center field.
Here's where I'd like to see the Mariners really put the game in motion right now. You got a scoreless tie in the ball game right here. Miller has a couple of steals at the big league level, but you'd like to see him maybe steal a money bag in this situation, especially with the way Nick Franklin has been swinging the bat this season and driving in runs. He has 28 RBIs since coming up from AAA.
What a great start from Franklin to his big league career. The pitch his direction, and it's a strike on the inside corner.
You see Mike Brumley going over to the runner at first. That's Miller. He's given him the time and how quick Deduno was to home plate with his pitch.
Always have that stopwatch there at first base. Hanging out the back pocket. 2 outs. The 0-1, swinging a chopper on the right side, right to Dozier's belt. He gloves and makes a short toss to first base. Franklin is out 4-3. Not to his counterpart. Miller is left stranded at first base. 3 innings complete on a beautiful day at Safeco Field. We head to the 4th. Mariners nothing. Twins nothing. Mariners and the Twins, no score as we start the top of the 4th here from Safeco Field. The sun is out, and it's out in all of its glory here today. Hope you're at the ballpark, and if you're not, sure appreciate you tuning into Mariners baseball this afternoon. Justin Morneau leads off, and here is Rick.
All right, thank you, Aaron. And here's the pitch on the way, and it's a little bit low for ball 1. So a scoreless duel in the first 3 innings this afternoon in Game 3 of the 4-game series. Aaron Harang, his 17th start of the year, into the windup, and the burly right-hander delivers high and outside on Morneau. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Justin, from the Pacific Northwest. He's from New Westminster, British Columbia in Canada. Now the 2-0 swing and a miss, and the count 2-1. Morneau, Doumit, and Colabello for the Twins here in the 4th inning. Harang worked himself out of a jam in the 1st. Now the windup and the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count evens up at 2-2. The Minnesota Twins are the old, and I mean the old, Washington Senators. They're the original Senators franchise. It started back in 1901. Here's the pitch and a swing and a foul back by Morneau, and the count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Franchise that had one of the great pitchers in baseball history, Walter Johnson, back in the early days of the franchise, helped win a World Series for the Senators in 1924. The pitch swung on, line drive, left field line, a fair ball in toward the corner. All the way to the wall, heading for second is Morneau. Up with the ball in the corner is Ibanez. The throw in is cut off by Miller. Miller knocks it down out there in shallow left field. Morneau is on at second base with a leadoff double. And that is the first base hit for the Twins off of Aaron Harang this afternoon. And it comes here in the 4th inning. Brings up the catcher Ryan Doumit. But the old Washington Senators finally moved to Minneapolis back in 1961. That was the first year of the Twins franchise from the old Senators. Ryan Doumit, the hitter, he is 0 for 1, is flied out to Ibanez in left field. Harang will look back at second. The stretch and the pitch. Doumit is swinging a ground ball, foul on the first base side. Knocking it down is coach Scotty Olger, and the count is 0-1 on Doumit. He's trying to bounce one to the right side to get Morneau down to third base. Minneapolis, long before the Twins got there, they were a AAA farm club for the old New York Giants. As a matter of fact, Willie Mays played there when he was first called up to the Giants in 1951. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch, high and inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. This past spring in March, he had a chance to go to a dinner where Willie Mays was there to talk to a lot of folks about his baseball career, his Hall of Fame career. Here's the stretch by Harang and the 1-1 on the way. Swing and a pop up behind home plate and out of play, and the count is now 1-2. Marty Laurie was running the program with Willie Mays that night at a restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona. One of the questions was, Willie, when you got called up from AAA Minneapolis to the New York Giants, you were hitting .472. And Willie right away said, no, .475. Here's the set by Harang. And the 1-2 pitch of the way, swinging a fly ball into the gap in right center field. The wind knocks it back. On the run is Chavez, and he is there to make the catch. Fires to third. It's cut off by Miller, and holding at second, Morneau. Andy Chavez has an arm. He puts a lot on the throw. Doumit flies out to right center field. And Justin Morneau, if he entertained any kind of a thought to try to advance to third base, he would have been out. But Andy Chavez can really let it go. The throw is cut off by Miller. So 1 on and 1 away, and that'll bring up designated hitter Chris Colabello. So Willie Mays over the past few years struggling with some health issues, but I tell you what, his mind is as sharp as ever. It was great to see Willie this past spring. Here's the pitch on the way. Colabello with a swing and a fly ball down the right field line and toward the corner. Chavez on the room, running out of room, and this one is out of play down the right field line. No chance for Andy Chavez, and it's 0-1 on Colabello. Who heads on back to home plate. It was Colabello who had the game-winning hit, the 2-run home run in the top half of the 13th inning last night, his first major league home run. So what a thrill for this kid. I was wrong. Willie was hitting .477 when he got called up to the New York Giants. Unbelievable. Here is the set. And the 0-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball lifted into shallow right center field. Going out is Franklin. Keep going out, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Morneau to third. Here's the throw by Chavez, and it's over the head of Kyle Seager. Morneau will stay at third, but that will allow Colabello to wind up at second base. Ackley came in, couldn't get to it. Neither could Chavez. Franklin had to go get it, and it bounced out on the grass in shallow right field beyond his reach, going out on the play. And then the throw came in by Andy Chavez. He airmailed it over the head of Kyle Seager, and now the Twins have runners on at second and third with one out. It looked like Franklin was just about ready to make the catch, but the ball landed off to his right, picked up right away by Chavez. And that ball sailed high over the head of Seager. It bounced right back to Harang, who was backing up on the play. So second and third now for the Twins. Here's Clete Thomas, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. So that's got to be a base hit for Colabello and an error on the throw by Andy Chavez that gives Colabello a chance to go to second base. Morneau advanced to third. Infielder's back, and the 0-1 pitch swung on, ground ball out to Franklin. A run will score. Nick has it. The throw to first in time to get Thomas for the second out of the inning, but on the play Morneau will score from third, and the Twins now have a 1-0 lead. And on the play Colabello advances from second to third. So Clete Thomas puts the ball in play, a ground ball to the right side. It's 1-0 Minnesota, and Thomas picks up an RBI, his 12th of the season. 1 on and 2 outs, and here is third baseman Trevor Plouffe. 0 for 1. He has flied out to Chavez in right field. The stretch of the pitch on the way, and he takes a curve low and outside for ball 1. So the Twins with the first run of the ball game, 1 run on 1 hit. Mariners no runs, 2 base hits. Pitch on the way, swinging a pop up out of play on the first base side, and the count is even on Plouffe at 1 ball and 1 strike. Plouffe batting .251, 10 home runs, 37 runs batted in. On deck is Aaron Hicks. 1 run in. And now time is called as Plouffe backs away from home plate. Steps back in, a right-handed hitter. Here's the stretch, and the 1-1 pitch is up high for ball 2, 2-1. Harang originally a 6th-round draft pick in June of 1999 by the Texas Rangers, and right away was traded away to the Oakland A's. Here's the 2-1 offer, and it's outside for ball 3, 3-1. He came up with the Athletics in 2002. He was 5-4 his rookie year. They traded away to the Reds. Had some pretty good years in Cincinnati. The stretch and the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a pop up behind home plate off of the mask is Quintero, and this one will find the seats well out of play. And it's a 3-2 count on Trevor Plouffe. 1-0 Twins getting that run here in the top half of the 4th. Now they have Colabello on at third base with 2 outs. A little bit of a breeze blowing in from the left field corner like he usually does here at Safeco Field. Now the stretch and the 3-2 offer on the way. Swing and a fly ball into the gap in right center field. Over is Dustin Ackley in front of the 1-2 track, and he's there and makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Well, the Twins come away with 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 4th from Safeco Field. It's the Twins 1 and the Mariners nothing. Well, it's now the Twins 1 and the Mariners nothing as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. What a night out, or afternoon out I should say, for baseball here in Seattle. Perfect day out for baseball. Here is Raul Ibanez to lead things off against Sam DeDuno, who delivers, and it's low and inside, bounces in, ball 1. Minnesota getting their 1 run in the top half of the 4th. On an infield out by Cleet Thomas had scored Justin Morneau from third base. The windup and the 1-0 to Ibanez, low and outside, ball 2, 2-0. Ibanez, Morales, and Seager for the Mariners here in their half of the 4th. Take a look at the Northwest Chevy Dealers scoreboard. Tampa Bay in New York. A final, the Rays win it. They shut out the Yankees today, 1-0. Next pitch, low and inside, ball 3, 3-0 the count. Archer with the win for Tampa Bay. He's now 6-3. Houston in Toronto. The Astros win today 8-6 over the Blue Jays. The windup and the pitch, up and away, ball 4. So Ibanez with a 4-pitch walk here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's the first walk given up by Sam DeDuno. And the Mariners have the tying run aboard right away here in the 4th, and that'll bring up designated hitter Kendrys Morales. Morales with one of the 2 hits off of DeDuno in this ball game for the Mariners. He had a double, a leadoff double in the bottom of the 2nd into the right field corner. Ibanez will lead at first, held on by Morneau. The set and the pitch. Morales takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. St. Louis and Atlanta today, no score. That ball game is in the 7th inning. Mets in Washington. Nationals leading the Mets by a score of 4-1 after 6.5. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch, swinging a chopper to the mound. Up with the ball, DeDuno looks at second, no play there. Soft toss to first to Morneau, and it's in time to get Morales. And on the play, Ibanez is able to get down the way to second base. Little chopper to the right side of the mound. DeDuno took a pretty good look towards second. So now the Mariners have the tying run aboard in scoring position. 1 on and 1 away. And the batter will be third baseman Kyle Seager.
Pretty much works like a sacrifice bunt right there. And now you have Ibanez at second. Guys like Seager smoked and swinging well as of late, and then Chavez following. So the Mariners in a very low scoring ball game in a good spot here.
Looking for a clutch base hit. DeDuno will look back at Ibanez. Here's the pitch to Seager, and it's a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Mariners could not take advantage of a leadoff double in the bottom of the 2nd. That double by Morales. DeDuno now taking some time with a man on. Checks in with Ibanez, the runner at second, and the 0-1 pitch to Seager. Swinging a foul out of play on the third base side, and the count is 0-2. Well, friends, there's summer fun to be had right here in Safeco Field with Keith Banks Run Around the Bases. Join us at every Sunday home game this year, where all kids 14 and under will be invited down to the field post game to leg one out around the infield, just like their favorite Mariners. The next event is scheduled for tomorrow against the Twins. Game time 1:10. For tickets to join in on the fun, log on to Mariners.com. Always great to have the kids here at the ballpark. Here's the stretch and the 0-2 pitch. Way outside on Seager for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The other day it was camp day. We had a lot of youngsters in the upper deck with their brightly colored T-shirts on. Different colors of the rainbow up in the upper deck here at Safeco Field. 1 on, 1 away. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, knocking it down. Domit. The ball releases off to his left. Ibanez had to stay at second base. 2-2 on Seager. How about Kyle? Over his last 22 games, he's hitting .381 with 6 of his 16 home runs. During that stretch, he had that 16-game hit streak. Here's the set. And the 2-2 pitch, low and inside for ball 3. Full count 3-2. Got that slider instead of the fastball. Seager. Little twist and turn to his right and left before he steps back in to face DeDuno. Chance to drive in the tying run of the ball game. Ibanez again a lead at second base. Outfield for the Twins straight away. The set by DeDuno, and the right-hander's 3-2 pitch up and away with a fastball for ball 4. So a couple of walks for DeDuno. And now the Mariners have runners at first and second with one out. And now a word from Wells Fargo. Call Clicker stopped by today to start a conversation about how they can work with you to help your business succeed financially, because an open dialogue can open doors. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Catcher Ryan Doman out to the mound. Have a word with DeDuno. Tying run at second. The go-ahead run is on at first base. And here is first baseman Justin Smoak. Mariners last night with only 2 runs in that 3-2 13-inning loss. Prior to that, they were scoring runs at a pretty good clip. In the month of July, averaging about 5.5, 6 runs a game. The stretch, the pitch to Smoak, swung on, popped up, foul, and out of play in the left field side, down the line into the seats, and it's 0-1.
Now, DeDuno is a guy who will dish out some walks. His walks to strikeout numbers this year not that great. He's not a big strikeout guy.
Yeah.
But 25 walks to 36 strikeouts entering today's game. We talked about it earlier. His last start, a season high 5 walks. So he'll give some free passes out for sure.
Runners get their leads. 1-0 Twins. The pitch, swing, and a ground ball foul up the first base side, and the count is 0-2 on Smoak, right away in a hole.
In fact, if you look at his last 2 starts, where DeDuno has really pitched very well, only 3 earned runs over 14 innings, 8 walks, 8 strikeouts.
Back-to-back wins his last 2 outings, both on the road against the Angels and the Yankees. But Justin Smoak's trying to do some damage here in the bottom of the 4th. Runners get their leads. The 0-2 pitch to Smoak. Here she comes, and it's low and inside with a breaking ball, and a nice stop by Domet for ball 1. Justin said during the stretch of July where he's hit very well this month, hitting .303. He said he's been hitting with a lot more confidence, not trying to do too much, letting the game slow down a little bit, come to him a little bit more. Runners their leads, and the 1-2 on the way, swinging a ground ball up the middle. The shortstop up with the ball. Bernier to the second baseman for 1. The relay to first, and it's in time for the double play. Bernier to Dozier, and on to Morneau. They get Seager at second and double up Smoak at first, and that will end the inning. 6-4-3. The double play to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on, and after 4 innings of play, we go to the 5th. Our score: the Twins 1 and the Mariners nothing. Inning, and leading it off for Minnesota, center fielder Aaron Hicks. Aaron Harang has given up the 1 run. That came in the top of the 4th inning. He delivers inside on Hicks, who backs away. Ball 1. Hicks had a 12-pitch at bat, struck out his last time up in the 2nd, but he really made Harang worked for it. The windup and the next pitch swung on, line drive, right field line. It's a foul ball, just fouled on the right field line, and Hicks just missed an easy extra base hit, and the count is even at 1-1. Save Friends fly Alaska Airlines from Seattle to over 60 cities, including new flights to Omaha and Colorado Springs beginning November the 1st. Explore more, spend less at alaskaair.com. Rick Riz along with Aaron Goldsmith and producer engineer Kevin Kremen. A beautiful Saturday afternoon. Later on tonight, the annual Torchlight Parade down 4th Avenue in downtown Seattle. I'm sure a lot of these fans will stick around downtown this evening for the big parade. Here's the 1-1 swing and a pop up behind home plate, out of play off to our left, and it's now 1-2 on Hicks. Harang waiting for Hicks to get back inside the batter's box. Left-handed hitter. The windup and the 1-2. Curveball a little bit low. Quintero was ready to fire down to third base. He thought it was going to be strike 3. Count goes to 2-2. New Mariner catcher Humberto Quintero, just designated for assignment by the Philadelphia Phillies. The Mariners picked him up right away with Mike Zunino on the DL with that broken hamate bone. Here's the pitch outside, ball 3, full count 3-2. Very untimely injury for Zunino, who was really playing well, and the bat was starting to come around. No question about that kid's defense. Harang back with the payoff pitch. Hicks with a swing, and he sends a fly ball into left center field. Coasting over is Dustin Ackley. Is there and makes the catch. 1 out for the Twins here in the 5th inning. Right now, let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Here's shortstop Doug Bernier, who started that 6-4-3 double play in the bottom of the 4th inning. The windup and the pitch to him is up high for ball 1. Bernier is 0 for 1. He has popped up to Nick Franklin at second base. Harang doesn't waste any time. Delivers. Strike 1 called. 1-1. This is Harang's second start against Minnesota back on June the 1st, and no decision. And a 5-4 loss, but he pitched well. He went 6 innings, gave up just 2 runs, 4 hits, walked 2, struck out 4, swinging a foul off the screen behind home plate. And it's now 1-2 on Bernier. Bernier, limited playing time. Pedro Florimon has done a nice job at shortstop. Outfield straight away. The 1-2. Outside, not by much. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talking about the history of the Twins. They became the Twins, as we talked about earlier, the Senators moving in 1961. They had a lot of great players from that Senators franchise. Here's a swing and a soft line drive in the right field. Dunks it in there for a base hit. Bernier is aboard with a 1-out single here in the top half of the 5th. But Harmon Killebrew, Bobby Ellison, all those guys that formed the outstanding clubs of the mid-1960s with Minnesota were all young players from the Senators organization that made that move. Killebrew became one of the great power hitters at the time in the 1960s and the early 70s. I think he wound up his career as a Kansas City Royal around 1975. Passed away a few years ago. Harmon Killebrew from Payette, Idaho. Here's the stretch and the pitch to Brian Dozier. Strike called. 0-1. What a nice man.
And for baseball fans, if you're looking for a road trip where you want to see a major league ballpark, Target Field should be looked at, because they've done such a terrific job of preserving a lot of that history at that really new ballpark there in downtown Minneapolis.
One of the statues of the former players. Here's the stretch, and the 0-1 pitch is swung on and popped up outside of third over near the dugout. Kyle Seager might have a play. No, this one is right inside the Twins dugout, and it's 0-2 on Dozier.
It's fantastic when you walk inside the Twins home clubhouse. They have basically museum display cases set up there from artifacts from recent day to days long ago. Game-worn spikes, bats, balls, jerseys.
I love that.
It's awesome
stuff. It's like their mini Hall of Fame. Harang ready, and the right-hander's 0-2 pitch to Dozier up high. Snap throw to first by Quintero, so he's not shy to let it fly. And back to the bag with the dive goes Bernier. 1 on, 1 away.
Can you imagine that, Rick? Hey, Rick, we think you called a really good game tonight. Can we have your shoes?
I need them to go home.
we just want to document this with what you're wearing on your feet. But it works.
Yeah, you got to save the history. You have to save the history. What's neat about going to Target Field is that Tony Oliva is still there. I mean, he's in uniform. He works with the players. This guy is a blast from the past with those great Twins clubs. Here's the pitch and a swing and a foul back by Dozier. And the count is still 0-2. It's always fun to talk with Tony. We'll sit in the dugout. We'll talk about the history of the Twins ball club and talk about Killebrew and Rod Carew. They made it to the World Series in 1965 with those guys. Earl Batty, Rich Rollins. And they lost that series to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Dozier. Strike 3. Second time that Harang has fanned Dozier. And for Harang, that is strikeout number 4. So 2 outs for the Twins here in the top of the 5th inning. But that's some pretty good ball clubs back in the 60s. Jim Perry as one of their star pitchers and Mudcat Grant. 1 on, 2 down, and here's right fielder Chris Herman. Had some pretty good ball clubs in the 80s with Kirby Puckett and the guys. Tom Bernansky is now a coach with the Twins. He was with those clubs. Here's a swing and a pop-up on a play on the third base side, and the count is 0-1 on Herman. As a matter of fact, in 1987, they won the World Series against the Cardinals. That was the series where the home team won every game. But it started in Minnesota, where they won the first 2 games. Went to St. Louis. The Cardinals won 3 there. Went back to Minnesota. The Twins won the next 2 to win the series 4-3. They won again in 91. The pitch. Swing and a foul back by Herman, and the count 0-2. And in 91, they had that great series that went to 7 games against the Atlanta Braves. Jack Morris won Game 7 1-0 in a duel with John Smoltz. 1-0 Twins. Top half of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch, and it's up high for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Justin Morneau. Center fielder Dustin Ackley is shaded toward left center field for Herman, batting from the left side. Deep at second base, Nick Franklin step on the outfield grass in shallow right. Runner goes, pitch on the way, swing and a pop-up out of play on the third base side. And the count is still 1-2 on Herman as that ball lands right behind the Twins dugout about 3 rows back.
And Rick Harang at right about 105 pitches right now. And Charlie Furbush loosening up in the bullpen for the Mariners.
Pitch count is way up there. And 105 with 2 outs here in the 5th. Felix Hernandez went 9 innings in last night's game and threw 103 pitches. But he didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 11. Bernier lead at first base. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2 pitch. High and outside, off-speed pitch. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that's the difference for Harang today versus his last time out on Monday. There was one point where he used only 11 pitches to record his final 6 outs. And today, obviously, a lot more pitches needed to be used from Harang.
99 pitches in 7 innings. That last outing, the win here at home against Cleveland. Turn and toss over to first base, and that'll get Bernier back to the bag. Chris Herman has walked, and he struck out in the 3rd. Harang bends at the waist, looks in to get the sign from Humberto Quintero, making his Mariners debut. The runner goes, pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. Doesn't matter about the throw because Harang strikes out Herman to retire the side. 5 strikeouts for Aaron Harang. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th, halfway point this afternoon. It's the Twins 1 and the Mariners nothing. And welcome back to Safeco Field as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Twins lead by a score of 1-0. Sam Deduno on the mound has given up only 2 hits to the Mariners. Leadoff double by Kendrys Morales in the 2nd, and a 2-out single by Brad Miller to center field in the 3rd, and that has been it. So he's been mighty stingy this afternoon. Right fielder Andy Chavez will lead it off. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Chavez, Quintero, and Ackley for the Mariners in the bottom of the 5th. The windup and the 0-1. Inside with a breaking ball. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's time for the Farmers Friendly Review. At Farmers Insurance, the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. So get smarter about your insurance at farmers.com. The pitch, low and outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Twins lead 1-0, and they got that run in the top half of the 4th with Justin Morneau on at third base. Morneau scored when Clete Thomas grounded out the second baseman Nick Franklin. Here's the next offer, and a swing and a miss by Chavez. And a fastball, and the count is even on Indy at 2-2. And that has been the scoring. Wind up and the 2-2. Swing and a ground ball. 2-hopper to short. Up with the ball to backhanded. Bernier, the throw to first in time to get Chavez 1 away for the Mariners here in the 5th. Fans, as you know, Mariner manager Eric Wedge recovering from that mild stroke from about 6 nights ago. Fans can send their get well wishes to skipper Eric Wedge during games this weekend here at Safeco Field. 2 giant, and I mean giant, get well cards are on the main concourse across from section 143 near the entrance to the team store. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way to Humberto Quintero. A curveball for a strike, 0-1. So you can stop by and send your best wishes to the skipper. The cards will be there from the time the gates open until the final out today and tomorrow. The wind of the pitch, swing and a foul out of play on the first base side, and the count is 0-2 on Quintero. So for those of you listening on the radio here at the ballpark, stop on by section 143 near the entrance to the Mariners team store. And if you're listening to the broadcast this afternoon, give us a wave up here in the press box. Let us know you're listening to the game on our flagship station here in Seattle. Nice to have you here. Deduno ready, and the 0-2. No, time called as Quintero was able to get time from home plate umpire Quinn Walcott. A lot of other folks listening all around the world to our broadcast. Here's the pitch, swung on, line drive, caught it first by Justin Morneau. Quintero reaching out, soft line drive. Justin just kind of up in the air a few inches to make that catch. So 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 5th. All over the place.
You're right, Rick. We invited listeners today to chime in on Twitter. You can follow the Mariners at Mariners and use the hashtag AskMarinersRadio. We wanted to know where Mariners fans were tuning in from today, and we have gotten a very good response so far.
There's center fielder Dustin Acklin. He takes a fastball inside, ball 1.
Some places around the U.S. like San Francisco, Salt Lake City. This is not an ad for Alaska Airlines, by the way.
Sounds like it. Keep going. Pitch on the way. A strike on Ackley. The count is even at 1-1.
Idaho and Alaska, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and Springfield, Massachusetts.
And the 1-1, swing and a fly ball center field. Hicks drifting back a few steps, stops, now turns and makes the catch, and that will end the inning. Dustin Ackley lines out to retire the side. In the bottom of the 5th for the Mariners, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. After 5 innings of play, Mariners trail 1-0 to Minnesota. Over 100 pitches through 5 innings of work. He gives up 1 run on 3 hits. He walked a couple and he struck out 5 along the way. The new pitcher for the Mariners will be left-hander Charlie Furbush. Charlie takes over in relief as we go to the 6th inning. He's 2-4 with a 3.27 ERA. In 45 appearances, he has worked 41 in the 3rd innings, given up 27 base hits, 17 walks, and he has struck out 58 with that nasty slider. And Club's hitting just 181 against Charlie. So Charlie Furbush from South Portland, Maine, takes over as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Maybe we have some listeners from South Portland, Maine. We have some from Stowe, Vermont. We go to the 6th, and for the play-by-play, here's Aaron.
All right, Rick, thank you. I'll tell you this much. Portland, Maine. That is pretty close to heaven on earth. That is a phenomenal place to spend a summer. Used to think that was the best place to spend a summer. Then you come out to Seattle on days like this.
Can't beat this, man.
This isn't too bad itself. Just top notch. Justin Morneau leads off the top of the 6th inning. Mariners trailing in a close one, 1-0 Twins. And the tall, lanky lefty Charlie Furbush whips home his first pitch of the ball game, and it's there for a strike. Fastball there at 91 miles an hour from Charlie. Morneau then followed by Doman and Colabello, who had the big hit last night. Infield back all the way around for the Mariners, and the pitch home from Furbush pops the glove of Quintero a little bit outside. Well, as we've been talking about, some tentacles of the Mariners radio network extending awfully far around the U.S. and around the globe, which is always nice to see. Charlie slowly brings up his right knee. His pitch, a slider, and it misses downstairs. 2 balls and a strike. We've talked about San Francisco, Salt Lake City, Idaho, Alaska, Cape Cod, a couple of locations in Texas. Has some Mariners fans chiming in, tuning in today on the broadcast. Vermont, as Rick mentioned. Nobody on for this 2-1 pitch. Morneau swings and he fouls it back.
I just heard from a fan in Spanaway, Washington, listening to the broadcast, and he says, in the backyard listening to the game, and you guys are top notch. I wonder who that could be. Mike Blowers. Mike Blowers has the day off today. No television today. A rare day off with no TV.
The 2-2 from Furbush. Strike 3 called. He got him on the outside corner. 93-mile-an-hour heat, and Morneau is frozen. He's admiring that pitch, and there is 1 out. It brings in Ryan Doman. You've also heard from Fargo, North Dakota. Not to try to top Blow there, because he can't.
No, there's no way. Blow played a little golf yesterday. I'll tell you what, his golf game is pretty good right now.
Right now?
He makes that ball disappear. Kevin, too.
Well, especially Kevin. First pitch to Doman, and it's a breaking ball, strike. Blow finished second, Kevin tells us. Kevin came in first.
You should be playing a big tournament, huh?
I guess so.
Way to go, Blow.
Twins 1 and the Mariners nothing. 1 out, top 6. Furbush comes home with a pitch. Ground ball pulls its way over on the left side, and a foul ball. So it's 0-2 to Doman, who has played all over the place this year for the Twins. He has caught. He has played in the corner outfields. He is also DH'd. We've heard from Mariners fans abroad on Twitter using the hashtag AskMarinersRadio, letting us know what you're up to today, where you're listening from. Charlie curls that black leather glove up by his right shoulder, now sets. Here's the 0-2, and it floats outside. Rick, people listening from Scotland, from England, from Vienna, Austria.
Wow. I got to get over there.
If you do,
tell Rick Chris.
That's right. The 1-2, and it's Nick Fowl back to the man on deck, Colabello.
Beat you to it.
I know there's a setup. That's what we call an alley-oop in the business.
Put it on a tee.
That's right. Westerville, Ohio. Brian Phillips listening.
I lived in Westerville.
Really?
Yeah, when I broadcast the Columbus Clippers.
Not too far from Columbus?
Yeah, it's right on the north side.
Maybe Brian's going off to a Clippers game later tonight. It's a beautiful ballpark there. The Arena District in downtown Columbus. The set, and Charlie's 1-2 pitch, lunging for it, a bouncer up the middle. Franklin ranging right behind the bag at second. He throws low, but it's scooped there by Smoke. And there's 2 out. Gilman is out 4-3. Nice job there by Nick Franklin. Well, all this talk about people listening all over the world, and here is an international man himself, Chris Colabello, the DH for the Twins, who is actually from Italy. He played for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic this year. His father. That's right.
Buongiorno.
You don't really hear too much Italian on our broadcast.
No, you don't.
Maybe that'll change. Here's Colabello. 2 outs. And the first pitch his way. Colabello takes inside. He is fluent in Italian, Rick. And he actually has a special message for you.
You kidding me? What a setup. I don't believe it. You're unbelievable, kid. And I am.
The pitch to Colabello was swung out and missed, but boy, he hit that one out of the park.
Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. Wow. So you went there, you talked to him, said, listen, that's what I always tell everybody. Oh, I sound a lot taller on the radio, don't you? They start cracking up. I go, hey, what are you laughing at?
We might have to hear that again.
That's beautiful.
Every day, the pitch, and it's low.
Isn't it a beautiful language? You can say something like that, and it's just like
KC, do we have it?
Off your tongue.
He's getting it back. He's got to rewind the tape, you know.
Rick, you sound taller on the radio. That's fantastic.
Twins 1, Mariners nothing.
Oh, I gotta pay you back something.
2-1, it floats outside.
Oh, play it again, kid. That's awesome. I used to speak Italian when I was real small. We lived on top in the upper apartment for my grandparents who were from Italy, and I lost it. I know some words.
We'll have it going to break, Rico.
Okay.
Listen, Kevin will play us out with Colabello's Italian. The 3-1, he swings and grounds it up the middle, of base hit, and Colabello probably deserves a base hit after helping us out. He is, in all seriousness,
that was great.
Colabello had a chance to talk to him obviously today for the pregame interview. We'll hear part 2 of that tomorrow about his journeys through the independent leagues. And an absolutely delightful human being. He's 29 years old, 7 years in indie ball. He's so grateful, so thankful to be here in the major leagues. He had the big hit last night, unfortunately, the 2-run home run in the 13th. And he and I started talking a little bit after the interview and joking around a little bit. And then it just kind of came to me. It was not, I did not go down there with that in mind, I'll be honest.
It just happened.
That just happened. The pitch to Thomas, and it's low. And we started to joke around, and you could tell right away he had a great sense of humor. So I just said, hey, Chris, I actually said, you seem like you've got a pretty good sense of humor.
Would you mind
helping me out with something?
That is fantastic.
That was one take, by the way.
Oh, man. I could have had to talk with the young man.
He'd love to meet you. The 1-0. And it's low. 2 balls and no strikes to Thomas. Colabello, the man of the hour, is not at first base.
Last name used to end involved, but my grandfather, Michael Rizziatiello, shortened it, and it became R-I-Z-Z-S. It was R-I-Z-Z-I-T-I-E-L-L-O.
Thomas, no batting gloves. A 2-0 from Furbush, and it's high and wide. It is a beautiful language, though. You're right.
It is. My mother spoke it all the time because that's what she spoke to my grandmother, and my grandfather would go to my grandparents' house, and that's what they spoke was Italian. It was beautiful. All my cousins speak it.
You're the odd man out.
Yeah, my brother.
The 3-0, and outside and low, ball 4. So Thomas is on with a walk.
I know certain phrases which I can't repeat on the radio.
Colabello's got the best phrase of all. That was a lot of fun.
That was fantastic.
Well, this visit to the mound is brought to you by Proliant Surgeons, the surgical experts serving the Pacific Northwest. As pitching coach Carl Willis takes a stroll out to the hill as Yoervis Medina starts to loosen up in the bullpen. Twins have 2 on with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, and they are bringing up Trevor Plouffe. Colabello, though, his father played for 8 years pro ball in Italy. In fact, he played in the Olympics for Team Italy in 1984. And it was interesting because they moved back and forth between Italy and Massachusetts when Colabello was growing up. And an Olympic game that Team Italy played against the U.S. at Dodger Stadium, Colabello's father got the start, and he was introduced over the PA as residing in Milford, Massachusetts. And he's from Team Italy. And he got booed by the entire ballpark. A guy from Milford, Mass. Pitching against Team USA with Team Italy. He lasted a third of an inning and gave up 8 earned runs.
Oh. Served up some meatballs. Where's the rim shot?
I was waiting. Wanted to give it the timing that it deserves. There's the pitch from Plouffe, to Plouffe rather, and it's outside.
When Alex Liddy hit his first major league home run, that's what I said. Arrivederci Pupette.
Which means
goodbye meatball.
The 1-0 from Furbush, and it's low. Plouffe stares at a count of 2 balls and no strikes. Twins leading 1-0 here in the 6th inning. They've got Colabello at second, and Clete Thomas is at first. A single and a walk, putting those 2 on. So of the phrases you know in Italian, you know,
I can't say.
But you know goodbye meatball.
Yes.
The one that you can use. Charlie sets high, and the 2-0 pitch coming. It's a breaking ball strike. Plouffe 0 for 2 today. He has flown out twice. He's a right-handed hitter, batting .251, 10 home runs, 37 RBIs. The field today just covered in sunshine. What a day to be out of the ballpark. The pitch from Charlie, and a strike call to the outside corner. 2-2. Well, performing extraordinary acts of banking every day. Sterling Bank. Nobody works harder for you. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Charlie trying to get out of a little bit of a jam here in the 6th with 2 on and 2 outs. 1-0 Twins. Charlie ready. He kicks, fires home, and it's outside a full count. In center field, Ackley shading over towards left a few steps. Miller at shortstop is a couple of feet deep into the grass in left field. Franklin tight to the bag at second. Smoke off the line at first. The 3-2, and it's outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks from Furbush here in the 6th inning. And the bags are packed with Twins. And that will bring out acting manager Robbie Thompson, as that will be it for Charlie Furbush in this one today. As we've got a pitching change in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs and the bases full. We'll be right back after this word from Red Hook. Brewers of New Audible Ale. It's the Twins 1, the Mariners nothing.
1-0 Minnesota. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Before we take a look at new pitcher Yoervis Medina, let's pause for station identification time. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Yoervis Medina will take over and relieve 3-3 record with a 2.52 ERA. This will be his 38th appearance of the season. He has 1 big league save. So he's on the mound. The bases are loaded, 2 outs. That's it for Charlie Furbish. 2/3 of an inning with a couple of walks, a hit, and 1 strikeout. 1-0 Minnesota.
So Medina inherits 3 base runners on his birthday, as he turns 25 today. So happy birthday to Yoervis Medina, pitching back-to-back days. Worked last night in the 13th. The pitch home, and it's low and outside. Aaron Hicks at the plate. He looks at ball 1. Hicks had a 12-pitch at-bat in the 2nd inning, which ended in an Aaron Harang strikeout looking. That was a fastball to 92 miles an hour. An impressive at-bat, though, from Hicks. Saw a lot of pitches. The 1-0, Hicks takes low. And we saw that Harang could only go 5 innings today. He used up 107 pitches over 5 frames, and 12 of them in that at-bat alone against Aaron Hicks. Runners all around for Minnesota with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Medina delivers home. Hicks swings and misses. 2-1. And to put it in perspective, as we talked about a little bit earlier, Harang, his last time out, his final 6 outs, he used only 11 pitches, which is absolutely phenomenal. But 12 pitches alone in that 1 at-bat to get 1 out. And that somewhat encapsulates the difference today for Harang versus his last time out. Medina's 2-1 pitch, and it's low and away, 3-1. Colabello is at third. Clete Thomas at second. Plouffe just drew the walk. He's at first base. So space is limited, to say the least. 2 outs, runners all around, and the 3-1 pitch. Strike called, and it just nips the outside corner. Hicks might have thought he took ball 4 right there.
Tell you what, his fastball is really moving. That 3-1 pitch really sailed away, but Quintero was able to keep it right there in the outside corner to the left-handed hitting Aaron Hicks. What a pitch.
Medina trying to keep this a 1-0 ball game. Here's the 3-2, and he walks him low and inside. Hicks draws a bases loaded walk. Colabello trots home from third, and it's 2-0 Twins. That is the 3rd straight walk drawn by Minnesota, the 4th straight batter to reach. All coming, by the way, with 2 outs. Morneau struck out looking to begin things. Domek grounded out to second. Bases remain full for Bernier, the shortstop. Pitch to Bernier, and it's a strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball that time from Medina, taking over for Furbush. Bernier 1 for 2. He dropped a single into right field. The 0-1, and he almost gets hit by it. He turns in. And a breaking ball that time from Medina misses very tight inside. And the count evens up 1-1. That run charged to the line of Charlie Furbush, who goes 2/3 of an inning here in the 6th. The 1-1 pitch from Medina, and it's cut out and missed. Fastball that really darted down and inside. And Yoervis now up in the count, 1-2. The bases remain full. Thomas at third. Plouffe stands a lead at second, and Hicks is at first after taking the walk with the bases full. 2-0 Twins. 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. Medina sets, and the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He got him with a breaking ball on the inside corner. Medina allows the 1 run, and he leaves him loaded here at the top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom half. It's the Twins 2 with the Mariners 0, and Arrivederci. A lengthy top of the sixth. We start the home half, and the first pitch coming home, and misses low for ball one to Brad Miller. Twins 2, the Mariners nothing. DeDuno back up on the hill. The right-hander's pitch home. Miller swings and he bounces it on the right side. Down to his right knee goes Dozier, who gloves and tosses to first base. And Miller is out 4-3. There's out number one in the last of the sixth inning. This afternoon, the third game in this four-game series with the Twins. Minnesota entering today at 44 and 56. The Mariners 49 and 54. They are hunting for win number 50. Pitch coming to Franklin, and Nick stares at strike one. Nice to see Nick Franklin warming up again. He's 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out to second. The wind of the toss home, and Nick takes it outside. Over Franklin's last 8 games, he's batting .294. He has homered twice, including a grand slam. He has 9 RBIs. A 1-1 his direction, and he takes it upstairs, a breaking ball. And the on-base percentage has been back up for Franklin as of late, just above .340. It's a big part of his game, getting on base. The wide, the 2-1 toss. He swings and nubs it, fouls. It just spins very softly outside of the hitter's circle, and the count squares up 2 apiece. But what a start it has been for Nick Franklin, who today plays in his 51st Major League game. Last night, number 50, and what a night it was for Nick, as he had 3 hits, an RBI, and a double. Line of the toss home to Franklin. Strike 3 called, outside corner. Fastball that Franklin is having a word or two, some parting shots with home plate umpire Quinn Walcott, as Nick slowly walks back down the dugout steps with 2 outs. DeDuno now with 6 strikeouts in this one today. That ties the season high. He's at 90 pitches this afternoon. Pitch to Ibanez and a breaking ball strike on the outside corner. Raul 0 for 1, a strikeout on a changeup. He went down swinging. He also walked. That was his last time up in the 4th inning. Twins leading 2-0. The right-hander's pitch to the plate, and it's blown away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ibanez, who is looking to get things cranked up since the All-Star break. He is now 3 for 27 since the Midsummer Classic. Fastball coming home, and it misses outside. Two of Raul's 3 hits since the break have been doubles. But he does not have an RBI yet since the All-Star break. Mariners trailing by 2 outs. The pitch delivered, and it's a grounder off to the right side. Right there is Dozier on the cusp of the grass in shallow right field. And Ibanez is tossed out. It goes down 4-3 in the side for the second straight inning. Is retired in order. 6 scoreless spun so far by Samuel Deduno. And as we go to the 7th, it's the Twins 2 and the Mariners nothing. Kevin Kremen as Matt Nelson is on the dials for us back inside the studio today. And it always seems like Nelson's back in the studio on days like this. You can never enjoy the weather, Matt Nelson.
Oh, it's just beautiful out. You got to get out of the studio. Leave the buttons alone, just turn.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We can take it from here. Can we?
Gary told us that the studio is shockingly cold all the time. 60 degrees inside. Even on a day like this, you have to bundle up to be inside the studio. So, Matt Nelson, hope you brought a blanket. We start the 7th. Twins up by 2. Medina up on the mound. The right-hander's pitch. First one comes home, and it's popped foul back behind the plate. Dozier behind the count right away, 0-1. Top 3 due up for the Twins. Interesting when you look at some numbers from the Twins this year, offensively, and also what they've done as far as their pitching goes. The 0-1 to Dozier, and he takes a strike. 0-2. The Twins entered today's game tied for 13th as far as team batting average in the American League this year, batting .243 so far this season. Just over 100 games into the campaign. Medina sets at the belt. He brings up the knee, fires home the pitch, and it's low and outside. Inside, rather. The other team that is hitting .243 this year, tied for 13th as far as team batting average out of 15 teams in the AL, the Oakland A's, who are in first place in the American League West at 60 and 43. The Twins 44 and 56. 1-2 coming, a chopper, and it's bounced up the third base side and foul. Count stays put 1-2. And what a difference some good pitching can make as the A's lead the American League with a staff earned run average of 3.60. The Twins, meanwhile, nearly a run higher at 433. Medina takes the side, and the 1-2 pitch, it's just outside. Evens it up 2-2. The Twins took over first place pardon me, the A's took over first place in the West. Seems like a few weeks ago. And by and large, they have not given it back. 2-2 coming. Well hit left field. Ibanez going back. Here comes the wall, and it's gone. Dozier, a line drive homer to left field. And Medina serves up his second home run in as many games after never having allowed a home run all season until the 13th inning of last night. It's 3-0 Twins. Dozier's 9th of the season. His first hit of the ball game. And he yanks it out on a line to left field. That brings in Chris Herman. Pitch coming his direction. He takes it inside. Twins 3 and the Mariners nothing here in the 7th. And Seattle has mustered only 3 hits. Pardon me, only 2 hits. The 1-0 and it's low and away. Last night, Seattle actually out-hit Minnesota 12-8, but they fell in 13 innings, nearly a 4-hour ball game, 3-2. Medina rocks and serves up the pitch. It's inside as Herman brings those white batting gloves in tight to his chest. And Yoervis finds himself behind at the count, 3 balls and no strikes to Chris Herman, the right fielder for the Twins. Here's the next pitch home, and it's a strike call. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Yoervis. Herman in his 13th game this season for the Twins. He's hit well. 3-1 pitch off the end of the bat. It skips off the left side of the hill, right to the black glove right there of Brad Miller, who is over near second base. He gloves, then tosses to first base. That took a very friendly skip. Could have caromed off in a much more difficult direction for Brad, but right in his tracks. There is 1 out. Goes down 6-3, and here is Morneau. Now we'll take a look around the Northwest Chevy Dealers scoreboard as Danny Farquhar starts to loosen up in the bullpen for the Mariners. 1 out, nobody on here in the 7th. Twins leading 3-0. And the pitch to Morneau is well outside. Ball 1. Couple of finals today. Oakland, just talking about the A's, they improved to now 61-43. They take down the Angels 3-1. The set and the pitch. Morneau swings and he drives it deep right field. This has a ton of carry and it's gone. Out to right center. 2 home runs for the Twins in the 7th. Morneau his 8th, and Minnesota now holds a 4-0 lead as Morneau just blasted off to right center field. So 3 home runs given up by Medina in his last inning and a third. And this is not the Yoervis Medina that we have seen pitch so well in spots this year. He really has had some terrific moments this season for the Mariners. But his last 2 outings, including today, have been rough. And that is it for Yoervis, who takes the exit with 1 out. And the base is empty here in the 7th. We've got a pitching change. On comes Danny Farquhar. We're back in a moment. It's the Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing.
It's now the Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. Home runs by Dozier and Morneau. New pitch for the Mariners right-hander Danny Farquhar. Farquhar no record with a 6.84 ERA. This will be his 20th appearance of the year since coming up from AAA Tacoma. 26 and a third innings pitch, 29 base hits, 11 walks, and 39 strikeouts, and that'll be it for Yoervis Medina, who goes only 2/3 of an inning. Gives up a couple of runs on a couple of hits. The home runs by Dozier and Morneau. Walked one, and he struck out one. So here is Danny Farquhar. Now becomes the 4th pitch used by acting manager Robbie Thompson.
And for Farquhar, needing 2 outs to take this one to the stretch, the pitch home, and it's inside. Doman elevates his elbows as that pitch is in tight to his chest. 1-0 to the Twins catcher. Farquhar delivers, and it's cut out and missed. Nice cutter there from Danny. That is Farquhar's bread and butter, that cut fastball. He takes a few miles an hour off his 4-seam fastball. The 1-1, some off speed that time, a curve, and it misses outside. You can see Farquhar's fastball in there, 95 up to 96. Cut fastball, 92, 93. The wind, the pitch home, and it's up and in. 3 balls and a strike to Doman. That cut fastball from a right-handed pitcher will cut in on a left-handed hitter. 3-1 coming, and it's low and inside, ball 4. Doman draws a walk. Farquhar walks the first man that he sees out of the bullpen. And that puts a base runner on with 1 out for now one of the best friends of the Mariners radio network lately. That is Chris Colabello.
Young man spent a lot of time going up in it.
Today 2 for 3 and scored a run. Singled in the 4th. He singled in the 6th. Big right-handed hitter. The pitch from Farquhar, and Colabello takes low and outside. Colabello has 23 homers to his name this year with AAA Rochester, the Rochester Red Wings. From the stretch, Farquhar delivers, and it's outside. 2-0. In fact, he was in the home run derby during the AAA All-Star break this year. He put up some of the best numbers, power numbers, in the International League this season. He's been up and down a few times from Rochester to Minnesota. 1 out, 1 on, and the pitch home. It's low. Twins leading this one 4-0. They have out-hit the Mariners 6-2. Colabello in his 15th major league game. He's been 7 seasons in the Indy Leagues with Worcester. The 3-0 pitch, ball 4 inside. Back-to-back walks from Farquhar, and the Twins put 2 more on here in the 7th. Doman down to second base. Colabello on at first, and here is pitching coach Carl Willis.
Walks have really hurt the Mariners the last couple of innings. 3 walks in the 6th, and now 2 walks here in the 7th. No defense for a walk.
Willis talking things over with Farquhar. We'll continue our look around the Northwest Chevy Dealers scoreboard. The Astros 8-6 winners over the Blue Jays. And here's another friend of the Mariners radio network, Rick. Dallas Keuchel picks up the win. He goes to 5-5.
Oh man, what he did, talking about Kevin Kravitz, same high school as Kevin.
Talking about the life-size oil painting in the lobby of Kevin. And the high standards that Kevin put on all the other students at that school. Pitch coming, and it's a strike on the inside edge to Cleve Thomas.
On us when we walk into the booth.
That's right. The mural of Kevin. Kevin and Dallas Keuchel went to the same high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Dallas was kind enough to play along. 0-1 pitch. Thomas watches it go out of the glove of Quintaro. It went just off the webbing of his glove. And that sends Doman down to third and Colabello to second on a pass ball. So the Twins now have a pair in scoring position. We told Dallas that for a pregame interview that we wanted to play a little bit of a joke on Kevin. And we wanted Dallas to play along with the fact that there was basically a tribute to Kevin Crimmett somewhere in that high school where he once attended. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a little looper, one hopper to Miller on the cut of the grass on the infield. He gathers and throws a bullet to first. And that could not have worked out much better for the Mariners. And for Danny Farquhar, 2 outs. That kept both base runners where they are. Second and third base, Thomas is out to the shortstop, Brad Miller. And here comes Trevor Plouffe. Some lengthy innings lately. 7 batters, 6th. And Plouffe is the 7th hitter of this 7th inning. Minnesota 4, the Mariners nothing. But Dallas Keuchel at the end of a very normal routine pregame interview had some fun. The pitch to Plouffe, and it's outside. All we said was, Dallas, can you just play along that there was something at that high school with Kevin's name on it? And he made up a whole story about this big painting, how intimidating it was. 1-0 pitch, swinging a number foul up the first base line. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pretty elaborate stuff.
It was. He went on for easily 60 seconds. And just like you, Kevin had no idea.
Totally out of the. Good job.
Got a good chuckle out of it. Runners at second and third base for the Twins here in the 7th. 2 outs, 2 on. 4-0 Minnesota as Plouffe digs back in. He walked his last time up. That was last inning. Very upright stance. Farquhar spins and delivers, and it swung out and missed. Took something off there. A curveball to Plouffe. He was way in front. Ball and 2 strikes. It was Dozier to lead off the 7th with a homer to left, and an out later, Morneau. 1-2 pitch, and it swung out and missed. Got him. Plouffe goes down swinging, and Farquhar escapes a bit of a jam. Actually, a very big jam with runners at second and third as he blows a 96-mile-an-hour fastball past the bat of Trevor Plouffe. It's time to stretch here from Safeco Field. Twins 4, Mariners nothing. First pitch coming to Morales, and it's low and inside. Doduno back up on the hill to begin things in the bottom of the 7th inning. Today's starter for the Twins, The 1-0 coming, and it's inside as it gets back and away from Doman, the catcher. 2 balls and no strikes to Morales leading off. The Mariners are trailing 4-0. Twins benefited in the top half of the 7th with 2 home runs, Dozier and then Morneau. Morneau's was very well struck out to right center field. Dedino stretches out his shoulders for a moment, now gathers, kicks, and the 2-0 pitch is a strike. Kendry's entering today hitting .281. He has homered 16 times. He has 58 RBIs to lead the ball club. Outfield straight away for Morales, batting left-handed, and the right-hander's pitch is swung on and hit well. Right center field. Hicks is on the move. He's able to get there in plenty of time, and he makes the catch right on the front edge of the warning track. Morales is out to center, slightly towards the alley and right. And with that, let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. That brings in Kyle Seager. 1 out, the bases empty. Mariners down by 4, yet to score. The pitch to Kyle is well outside. Now, we were talking about the Northwest Chevy Dealer scoreboard earlier. The Yankees get blanked 1-0 by the Rays, who continue just a terrific month. The 1-0 to Seager. He swings a little ground ball through the left side, and Seager is on with the Mariners' 3rd hit of the ball game. Opposite field, seeing-eye single. Nice job there by Kyle. Seager last night had 3 hits, all singles. So Seager is on with 1 out. That brings in Justin Smoak. The Rays, as you look at Tampa Bay, entering last night, they held sole possession of first place for the first time since June 12th of last year. And they are on fire. First pitch coming to Smoak, and it's a bit outside. Tampa Bay now 62-42 on the season. And they've lost about 3 times this month. That's it. The set, the 1-0 pitch, and a fastball misses away, 2-0. Meanwhile, you look at the Yankees. They are expected to get Derek Jeter back tomorrow. Yankees right-handed hitters are last in baseball, in the American League rather, in on-base and slugging percentage. 2-0 pitch. This is rocketed deep right field by the pole. If it's fair, it's gone, but it's a foul ball. That ball had a jetpack attached to it, but Smoak pulled it just a moment too soon, and it's into the seats and out of play.
Listen on the radio, that had some good sound to it too. That
no
good
kidding.
Flick of the bat hitting the ball. Just needed to stay fair, but it hooked foul at the last second. Just missed a home run.
That is a very loud strike 1. Seager at first. Mariners down by 4. The 2-1 to Smoak. He swings and chops it foul on the right side. 2-2. Now there's no doubt that when Justin gets a hold of one, they jump off his bat in a hurry. Smoak 9 homers, 23 RBIs this year. He's in there batting left-handed. That's where his powers come from. The 2-2, another ground ball foul. All 9 of his home runs this year have come batting from the left side. Now we were talking about Tampa Bay. With the win today, the Rays in July are 19-3. Unreal. Smoak wags the bat back and forth to pitch, and it's low in the dirt. Full count. Tampa Bay has sought 23 home runs entering today's game this month. They're hitting .281, which is an American League best in July. And they have the lowest earned run average this month, .238. The 3-2 coming, breaking ball outside, ball 4. Nice at bat there from Smoke. Justin reaches for the first time today. He's at first base. He pushes Seager into second. He reached on an opposite field single. And that brings in Endy Chavez.
Duno has pitched very well this afternoon, but after giving up that long, loud foul ball down that right field line, he got a little, I think, nervous about coming near the strike zone. Ends up walking Smoke, and that's what the Mariners need right now. They need some base runners. They need one more to get that tying run to the plate, and time is called. Pitching coach Rick Anderson, whose mother, Jean, lives up in Everett, Washington, and maybe listening to the broadcast this afternoon, or maybe here at the ballpark, heading out to the mound, have a talk with Duno, who's pitched very well.
Now you have to figure the clock is ticking on Duno. He's at 107 pitches.
Yeah. Josh Reddick is warming up down to the bullpen, a right-hander for the Twins. Got Endy Chavez due up, who in last night's ball game hit the ball very well on the line the other way to left field for a single and a double late in that ball game.
The 107 pitches from Duno is a new season high, surpassing his 106 back on July 13th. At Yankee Stadium, when he went 7 innings, only 1 run on 6 hits. So far today, Duno has worked 6 1/3 scoreless, allowing 3 hits. He has 2 runners behind him, and here is Chavez. The pitch to Endy. He holds back on a swing and looks at the strike. Fastball to 92. Well, Endy is hoping to see a fastball. He is batting .398 this season against fastballs. That is the 3rd best in all of Major League Baseball. Left-handed hitter ready, and the delivery home. He swings and fouls it high over the screen. He's down to the count 0-2. And there was another fastball. Alan Craig of the Cardinals leads the big leagues, hitting .405 against heaters. Miguel Cabrera is the only other man ahead of Chavez, batting .402 when he sees a fastball. Runners at first and second, 1 out. The pitch. Chavez swings and flicks it over on the ground to Dozier at second. He moves it over to Bernier at second base, covering the turn to first in time. And it goes down as a 4-6-3 double play. The Twins turn another twin killing here in the bottom of the 7th. In the game, rather. It comes here in the 7th, and it wraps up the inning. 7 innings complete here from Safeco Field. We head to the 8th with the score. Twins 4, Mariners nothing. Four 4-0 Twins as this ball game moves on to the 8th inning. Danny Farquhar is back up on the hill as Rick is practicing his dance moves here in the booth. Looks pretty good, Rick.
Oh, thank you very much.
Not that I'm surprised.
It's my rally dance. When the Mariners come out to the bottom.
We saw the rally jig last night.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We've seen that a couple of times this year, so maybe the video board will have Rick on it next time.
I hope not.
A couple of home runs from the Twins in this one. They lead 4-0 as Farquhar will pitch the 8th inning. Mariners trailing Minnesota by a score of 4-0. And here at the call of the 8th, and to take us home, he is the dancing voice of the Mariners. Here is Rick Rizzs.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. So here is young Mr. Hicks, Aaron Hicks, to lead things off for Minnesota. They lead it by a score of 4-0. 4 runs on 6 hits. They had solo home runs by Dozier and Morneau in the 7th. Danny Farquhar ready. Here's the kick and the pitch, and showing bunt is Hicks, and he takes the pitch for a strike. 0-1. He was halfway out of the batter's box, pulled the bat back, but it was a strike. Hicks had a bases loaded walk to force in Chris Colabello in the 6th inning. Now the next offer on the way, and that breaking ball misses outside. Backdoor slider, and the door wasn't open. 1-1 the count on Hicks, hitting just 197. Hicks, Bernier, and Dozier for the Twins in the 8th inning. The stretch and the 1-1. Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. Hicks made the catch of the game in last night's ball game, robbing Henry Blanco of an extra base hit with Brendan Ryan aboard, diving way out there in deep left center field. If he doesn't get to it, Ryan scores easily, and the Mariners would have ended up winning that ball game. Here's the pitch, and it's low and outside. Ball 2, 2-1. That would have given the Mariners a 2-1 lead at the time. Twins won last night in 13 innings, 3-2. Here's the set by Farquhar, and the 2-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball wide of third, but right there off the line, Seager has it. The toss across in time to get Hicks hustling up the line. 1 away for the Twins here in the 8th. Say, friends, swing for the fences just like Kendrys Morales and Raul Ibanez with a new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPad and select Android devices. Download free today. Nice crowd this afternoon here at Safeco Field for Game 3 of the 4-game series. Hoping you're making your plans to come on by tomorrow afternoon. Here's Doug Bernier, the shortstop, and he takes low, ball 1. Game time tomorrow is 1:10. It's going to be Erasmo Ramirez getting the start for the Mariners, his 3rd since coming up from Tacoma. Here's the pitch, low and outside, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes, and Kyle Gibson will get the start, a right-hander for Minnesota. That's tomorrow, final game of the series and the homestand. Farquhar, the 2-0, low and outside, ball 3, 3-0. Way too many walks the last couple of innings by Mariners pitchers. 3 consecutive walks in the 6th inning. The pitch, strike called as Bernier's taken all the way, 3-1. And then 2 more walks in the 7th. Danny looks in, gets a side from new catcher Humberto Quintero. The 3-1 pitch swung on. It's popped up out of play in the first base side. Full count, 3-2. Quintero becomes the 7th catcher used by the Mariners this year. Quintero, Blanco, remember Brandon Bance, Zunino, Sucre, Shopik, and Montero. The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, and it's just inside for ball 4. Man, was it close. A 3-2 breaking ball, but it missed, and Bernier is out at first base with a walk. 1 on and 1 away, 4-0 Twins. And here's leadoff batter, second baseman Brian Dozier, who hit his 9th home run of the season, leading off the 7th inning. That was off of Yoervis Medina. Farquhar ready from the belt. The pitch, strike called, 0-1. Aaron Harang started the ball game this afternoon. He went 5 innings and gave up only 1 run and 3 hits. He walked 2 and he struck out 5, but the Twins really got his pitch count up, especially Aaron Hicks, who had a 12-pitch, eventually a strikeout in the 2nd. Here's the next offer, and it's inside on Dozier for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orang was followed today by Charlie Furbush, Uervis Medina, and now Danny Farquhar. Infield double play depth. Miller at short, Franklin at second. The pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 on Dozier. Today's paid attendance 24,524 in this sun-drenched Saturday afternoon here in Seattle. Danny looks in, has a sign from Quintero. Here's the pitch, swing and a foul off the screen behind home plate. And the count is still 1-2. Ron Gardenhire, the skipper for the Twins. He's been their manager now for 12 years. Got a few new coaches on his staff this year. Terry Steinbach, Tom Brunansky. Next offer, swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Dozier. Brian Dozier strikes out. And that is strikeout number 2 for Danny Farquhar. And there's 2 outs for the Twins here at the top of the 8th inning. They have Bernier on at first base, and the batter will be right fielder Chris Herman. Once again, there's that breaking ball by Farquhar. Pretty good pitch, and he gets Dozier with it. He just missed striking out Bernier. He threw it 3-2 to Bernier, but it was ball 4. Herman, the hitter, he's 0 for 3. The pitch and a swing and a miss, 0-1. Herman has walked, he has fanned twice, and he's grounded out to Brad Miller at shortstop. Deep at second base is Franklin. A step on the grass, shallow right field. Bernier again a lead. There he goes. Pitch on the way, a ball thrown down to second by Quintero, and out at second base is Doug Bernier trying to steal. Humberto Quintero throws out Bernier, taken off on the 0-1 pitch, and that will end the inning for the Twins in the top half of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th hour score. The Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing. Well, time starting to run out on the Mariners as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's the Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing. And Minnesota will have a new pitcher. Right-hander Josh Renicky will take over in relief from Sam Deduno, who was outstanding today for Minnesota. Deduno went 7 scoreless innings, gave up only 3 hits. He walked 3, and he struck out 3, and he leaves leading 4-0. So here is Renicky. Josh is 2-1 with a 3.48 ERA, has appeared in 40 ball games, 41 and a third innings of work, 35 hits given up, 21 walks and 29 strikeouts. Leading things off, Humberto Quintero. No, this is Michael Saunders. Saunders will lead things off, and he takes ball 1. So Michael Saunders pinch hitting for Quintero. Renicky looks in, has a sign to set. And the 1-0 pitch, swing and a one-hopper up the middle into center field for a base hit. Skips on by Doug Bernier, the shortstop, off to his left. Michael Saunders with a leadoff pinch hit single, trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Batting for Quintero. Quintero in his Mariner debut this afternoon finished the top of the 8th inning by throwing out Doug Bernier trying to steal. So Saunders hit a low flying rocket that skimmed right up the middle. He's on at first base, and here is Dustin Ackley. Coming in close at third base is Trevor Kloop, but you won't see a sacrifice now when you're down by 4. Saunders, good speed on at first. Here's the stretch. And Renicky, a long hesitation. Now he steps off and he looks Saunders back to the bag. Mariners need a whole bunch of base hits. A couple of nights ago, they got 6 runs in the bottom half of the second. Went on to beat the Twins in the opening game of the series 8-2. Now the set by Renicky. He delivers, and Ackley takes outside, ball 1. So the Mariners looking for a big bottom of the 8th. Ackley batting .220, a home run, and 17 runs batted in. 0 for 2 on the day. Last time up, lined out to Hicks in center field. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Manager Ron Gardenhire going to his bullpen to come up with Renicky here in the 8th. Mariners were getting DeDuno's pitch count up there, and he's gone after 7. And he pitched very well. Morneau trying to keep Saunders on. Here's the stretch and the 1-1. Low and inside on Ackley. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Make him work. Center fielder Aaron Hicks is shaded a few steps toward right center. But still straight away in left field is Cleet Thomas. Deep in right field is Chris Herman. Step to his right. Some room on the right side of the infield for Ackley, a left-handed hitter. Again, the stretch by Renicky. Long wait. And the 2-1 pitch. Low and outside. Ball 3. 3-1. There's all the young guys that put together that 6-run bottom half of the second inning 2 nights ago. Seager, Smoke, Zunino, then Ackley, Miller, and Franklin. Here's the stretch and the 3-1 pitch swung on, popped up out of play in the third base side. A full count on Dustin. 3-2. Say friends fly Alaska Airlines from Seattle to over 60 cities, including new flights to Omaha and Colorado Springs beginning November the 1st. Explore more and spend less at alaskaair.com. Saunders will lead at first base. The stretch. And now the 3-2 to Ackley. Swing and a fly ball into left center field and shallow. Coming in over to his right is Hicks, and he's there to make the catch, and there's 1 out. Dustin got underneath it and popped it up. Shallow left center. 1 on and 1 away for shortstop Brad Miller. Miller on the day is 1 for 3, singled into center field. That was one of only 3 hits off of Sam DeDuno, the starter for the Twins today. And he has grounded out twice. Brad steps in, left-handed hitter. He was last week's American League Player of the Week. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's low and outside for ball 1. Last week hit .385 with 2 home runs, both in that 1 game down in Houston. And he drove in 7, and now time is called. Pitching coach Rick Anderson trotting out to the mound to have a word with Renicky after he went to ball 1 on Brad Miller. And there's activity down at the bullpen. A right-hander warming up for the Twins. Mariners looking for their 50th win of the year. Jared Burton, the right-hander, warming up down in the pen for Minnesota. Now Anderson turns around and heads on back to the third base Twins dugout. 1 on, 1 away. Renicky ready, and the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. 2-0 on Miller. Brad very aggressive early in the count, but in a game like this you need some base runners. Work the count. Try to get them aboard any way you can. Take a walk. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And it's a strike, 2-1. Okay, now you got to go to work a little bit right here. As Renicky was able to find the strike zone. On deck is Nick Franklin. Stack up some hits, and now time is called. Miller gets time, and Brad backs away from home plate. Miller wears those stirrups, shows a lot of that sock. Not too many guys wear stirrups anymore, but I always loved that look. It always just felt comfortable. Again, the stretch and the 2-1 pitch swung on. Line drive up the middle, and it's center field, a base hit for Miller. Down to second goes Michael Saunders, and the Mariners have 2 on with 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to chip away at that 4-0 Twins lead. Let's pause for station identification time. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. Brad Miller got a pitch that was down. It hit it hard right back up the middle. A line drive to center field. And now here's Nick Franklin. 1 out and 2 aboard. The stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball is inside. Ball 1. Nick looking for his first base hit of the day. He's 0 for 3. Has fanned a couple of times. He's also grounded out to Dozier at second base. Twins have turned a lot of double plays this year. Runners get their leads, and the 1-0 pitch high and outside for ball 2, 2-0. And the Mariner hitters have gone up there with a purpose here in the bottom of the 8th inning to take a look at some pitches. See if they can get out in front of the count, look for that fastball, and jump on it. Raul Ibanez due up next. Mariners have Saunders at second. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Strike on the inside corner, 2-1, and they have Brad Miller on at first base. Twins with 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors. The Mariners no runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Darren Brown coaching down at third base. Keeping an eye on Saunders at second. Here's the stretch and the 2-1 swing, and a foul back by Franklin. 2-2 the count. Mariners with a 6-2 record since the All-Star break. Aaron was talking about the great run for the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 19-3 in their last 22 ball games. Mariners are 14-7 in their last 21. Runners get their leads. Here's the set and the 2-2 to Franklin. Inside, up and in. Ball 3. Full count, 3-2. A bad one here would load him up for Raul Ibanez and bring the tying run to home plate. Big pitch right here for Franklin, who has a tremendous eye and great discipline at the plate. He knows that strike zone. Steps back in, taps home plate with the end of his bat. Runners get their leads. 2 on, 1 down. 4-0 Minnesota. And the 3-2 to Franklin. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and he went after ball 4. It was a pitch up and in. Franklin upset with himself. He goes down swinging. 2 outs in the inning. And here comes manager Ron Gardenhire out of the dugout. So 2 on and 2 away, and that is going to be it for Josh Renicky. Franklin went after ball 4, but there's 2 outs in the frame, and he's going to go down to the bullpen to get Jared Burton. So a pitching change for the Twins coming up. They lead 4-0, and we'll be back right after this timeout.
new pitcher for the Twins here in the bottom of the 8th inning with Raul Ibanez due up. Out of the bullpen comes Jared Burton. Burton, a 6'5" right-hander. 1-6 on the season. He makes his 48th appearance of the year this afternoon. He has a .343 earned run average. He's walked 18 while striking out 40. Opponents batting .243 against Burton this season, who takes over for Josh Renicky, who strikes out Nick Franklin. Franklin, if you'd watched his strikeouts this year, he rarely chases for a pitch above the strike zone or below the strike zone. Most of Franklin's strikeouts swinging come either chasing a pitch outside or going for one inside. So a rare strikeout on a pitch up in the zone as Franklin went after ball 4. So here is Burton, and he faces Ibanez.
2 on, 2 outs. Mariners still trying to hit the old pay station. It's 4-0 Minnesota. So here's Ibanez to step in the stretch, and Burton's first pitch is a slider inside for ball 1. Ibanez has struck out, walked, and he has grounded out to second baseman Brian Dozier, 0 for 2 on the day. But this is a guy that can put a dent into that scoreboard. 24 home runs on the season. Saunders on at second. Brad Miller on at first base. Good speed aboard. The 1-0 pitch to Raul, and it's low. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Ibanez turns around, takes a little walk to the right side of home plate, tightens up that left batting glove. Now a little tug at the bill of his batting helmet. Steps back in, taps home plate a couple of times. Waves that bat around. Outfield for the Twins straight away. Thomas, Hicks, and Herman. Here's the stretch. And the right-hander's 2-0 pitch. Swinging a ground ball. First base line. Snared behind the bag by Morneau. He's got it. Goes to the bag for the 3 unassisted. Put out on Ibanez, and that will retire the side. The Mariners threaten, but they cannot score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 are left on. We go to the top half of the 9th this afternoon. It's the Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing. And welcome back to Safeco Field as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. The Twins still lead by a score of 4-0. The Mariners were trying to get to Minnesota's bullpen in the bottom half of the 8th inning, but left 2 stranded. So as we go to the top of the 9th inning, lefty Lucas Litke, cool hand Luke, will take over here in the 9th inning. 0-1 record for Litke. He's been up and down 3 times this year. 5.51 ERA in 16 appearances. He's worked 16 1/3 innings, given up 23 base hits, 12 runs, 10 earned. He's walked 5, and he has fanned 13. So Litke will work the top half of the 9th to face Herman, Morneau, and Doman. Lucas becomes the 5th pitcher used by Robbie Thompson, who is the acting manager in the absence of Eric Wedge, who 6 days ago, before the ball game, suffered a mild stroke, scared the heck out of everybody. Was in the hospital for 3 days, but it's nice to report that Eric is back home resting and recuperating with his wife Kate and his 2 kids. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way to Herman, leading things off here in the 9th inning. There's a strike and the count is 0-1. So Skip, get well soon. We'll see you back here at Safeco Field when the Mariners return from their road trip to Boston and Baltimore. He will not make that trip. Here's the pitch, swung on, ground ball, first base line, behind the bag. Smoke is there, takes it to the pillow for the out on Herman, and there's 1 out for the Twins here in the top half of the 9th. So get well soon, buddy. Last month's fireworks show was a sight to be seen here at Safeco, and once again we're going to be lighting up the sky for another post-game fireworks display on Friday, August the 9th. Be on hand as the Mariners take on the Brewers, and then stick around after the game for a spectacular Mariners Hall of Fame themed fireworks show. For tickets to join the fun, visit Mariners.com. Ken Griffey Jr. on the next day will be inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. Here's the pitch to Morneau, swinging a pop-up out of play on the third base side. 0-1. Can't wait for 2 years from now when Jr. will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, with his 630 home runs. But that just told just a part of the Ken Griffey story, what he meant on that field, all the wonderful things he could do. Here's a swing, ground ball, cued off the end of the bat, on the ground to the shortstop. Charging Miller has it on the run, and he throws out Morneau at first base for the second out here in the 9th inning. He could beat you in so many ways. Got a new catcher, Henry Blanco, taking over behind the plate as Quintero was lifted for the pinch hitting Saunders.
The man who just made the play on the ground ball, Brad Miller, is especially excited for Ken Griffey Jr. coming here, as Brad grew up as a big Junior fan in Florida, and talking to him about that the other day, he's thrilled by the chance of being able to see him again here at Safeco.
Here's Ryan Domit, and he takes a pitch outside from Litke for ball 1. Yeah, he said he grew up only a few minutes away from Junior's house in Orlando. He's going to be Charlie's guest on Bullpen Banter tomorrow. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a foul off the catcher Blanco, and the count is even at 1-1. Henry just caught 13 innings last night, but Robbie Thompson was looking for a pinch hitter, and he got Michael Saunders, and he ended up with a leadoff single in the bottom of the 8th inning, batting for Quintero, was making his Mariners debut today. Now the 1-1 offer, and it's low and inside on Domit, ball 2, 2-1. Domit, the young man out of Moses Lake, Washington, the home of our good buddy Dave Haverlow. Dave had some good years in the big leagues, pitched in the major leagues for a long time with the San Francisco Giants, and at the end of his career with the Mariners. Here's the pitch, swung on, line drive, left field line, fair ball, right on the line, kicks off the stands, a jet out. Domit heading for second, up with the ball. Ibanez, no throw to second. Ibanez had to come in and get that ball. It never got in the corner because it was just fair on the line, and it hit those seats that angle out toward the left field line, well in front of the corner. So Ryan Domit is on at second with a 2-out double here in the top half of the 9th. Twins lead 4-0. And the batter will be Chris Colabello, who speaks fluent Italian, we found out, is 2 for 3 on the day. A couple of singles, a run scored. He had the big hit, what turned out to be a game-winning home run last night in the top of the 13th inning. The stretch by Litke, the pitch, swing and a miss. Took a little off, and Colabello way out in front lost his balance on the swing. 0-1. A few weeks ago he was playing in the AAA All-Star game. Here he is in the big leagues after 7 years playing independent league baseball. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch inside for ball 1, 1-1.
Tomorrow we'll hear from him again on the pregame show.
More Italian?
More Italian. And he talks about once he found out the news that he had been called up, he was on their team bus leaving Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and a car collided with the bus. No one was hurt, but the bus got in an accident as he was trying to get to the airport.
Here's the stretch and the 1-1 pitch. Blown inside, ball 2, 2-1. Then he had to take a taxi to the airport.
He was trying to. Well, this was at some wild hour of the night, and they had a day game the next day, someplace relatively far away, and he wasn't ever sure that he'd actually make it to the airport in time. And he barely got to wherever the game was.
Next pitch. Swing and a miss, and a pitch in the dirt, and the ball gets on by Blanco all the way to the backstop, and down to third base goes Ryan Doumit on a wild pitch. Colabello went after it for strike 2. So the count is even on the Twins designated hitter at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He went after this pitch that bounced near his feet. He needed a 7-iron to try to hit it. So Doumit winds up on at third base on the wild pitch. 2 outs. 4-0 Minnesota. Litke leans in, glove hand on his right knee. Now the stretch and the 2-2 swing and a ground ball. Slow roller foul on the third base line. Picked up by Twins third base coach Joe Vavra. Still 2-2. Series tied, 1 win apiece. Colabello steps back in, waves that bat around. Infield back with 2 down. Doumit to lead at third. The stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball into right field. Endy Chavez backing up just a couple of steps. He's there and he makes the catch, and that will retire the side. In the top half of the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last try for the Mariners. Our score: the Twins 4 and the Mariners nothing. So for the Mariners, it has boiled down to just 1 more try, 1 more chance as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Twins lead by a score of 4-0. And as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Minnesota with a new pitcher, right-hander Anthony Swarzak, will take over in relief. Swarzak 1-2 record with a 3.36 ERA, 29 appearances. Swarzak will take a look at Kendrys Morales, Kyle Seager, and Justin Smoak. Mariners put together a little bit of a rally in the bottom of the 8th inning, but could not score. No runs for the Mariners this afternoon. 5 hits. Here's the pitch on the way to Morales. Strike called, 0-1. Kendrys has 1 of the 5 base hits, a double down the right field line, leading off the bottom of inning number 2. He was stranded at third base. Next pitch on the way, and it's in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Deduno was outstanding today for Minnesota. 7 scoreless innings. The starter gave up only 3 hits, 3 walks, and he struck out 6. Wind up and the 1-1. outside to Morales. Ball 2, 2-1. Mariners have won 9 of their last 11 games. Swarzak, fourth pitch used by manager Ron Gardenhire. Into the windup and the 2-1 swing and a foul back and out of play. 2-2 on Kendrys. Morales over the last 15 games batting .327. Young man out of Cuba. He tried 12 times to get out of Cuba. Here's the windup and the 2-2. Strike 3 called, says home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott, and Kendrys can't believe it. But a strikeout for Swarzak, and there's 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 1 away. Brings up Kyle Seager. Pitch looked maybe a little bit low, but Doman was able to get that strike. So 1 away. Seager steps in. Kyle is 1 for 2 with a single his last time up in the left field in the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball low and inside as Kyle dances away from ball 1. Ramirez against Gibson tomorrow. Erasmo Ramirez making his 3rd start since coming up from Tacoma. Game time is 1:10. We'll see you on the radio at 12 and 11 o'clock for the Mariners Magazine, hosted by Aaron Goldsmith. Here's the pitch, swung on, ground ball right side, and gets on through for a base hit. So Kyle Seager with a 1-out single here in the bottom half of the 9th inning, his 2nd base hit today. Trying to get this crowd in the ball game. 4-0 Twins, and here's first baseman Justin Smoak, who walked his last time up in the 7th. He's 0 for 2 on the day.
That's his 5th hit in the last 2 games. He has 6 hits this series.
Yeah, nice series. 6 for 13 against Minnesota with 1 more game left to go against the Twins before the Mariners head east to Boston and Baltimore. Travel day on Monday. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way to Smoak, and he looks at it low. Ball 1. Mariners a game over 500 at home this year. They're 28-27 now here at Safeco Field after this nice little run. The set by Swarzak, and the 1-0 pitch up and away. Ball 2. 2-0 on Smoak. The shadows of the upper deck creeping out toward home plate. Right now they're halfway between the front row of box seats behind the plate and right behind catcher Ryan Doman. Outfield for the Twins straight away, and lead at first by Seager. 1 away, and the 2-0 pitch misses inside. Ball 3. 3-0 on Justin. So he'll be taken all the way right here. Mariners need some base runners. Due up is Endy Chavez. Swarzak looks in, has a sign to stretch, and the 3-0 pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner. 3-1. Smoak backs away, taps his heels. Bell of his bat as he looks down at third base coach Darren Brown going through the signs. Seager again a lead at first, held on by Morneau. The stretch and the 3-1 pitch, swing and a pop up into shallow left field. Going out the shortstop Bernier, coming in Thomas. It'll be Thomas who makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So the Mariners are down to their final out here in the bottom half of the 9th. Mariners just haven't been able to sustain any drives throughout this game. They had a leadoff double by Morales. He was stranded at third back in the 2nd. They left 1 on in the 3rd, 1 on in the 4th, 1 on in the 7th, 2 on in the 8th. 4-0 Twins, and here is Endy Chavez. Chavez has grounded out 3 times, once into a double play. Here's the pitch inside corner for a strike, and Chavez was really backing away from that pitch. He jackknifed out of the way, but it caught the inside corner, according to home plate umpire Quinn Wolcott. It's that fastball that comes back over the plate from Swarzak. Looked like a Greg Maddux fastball. Next pitch on the way. Runner taken off for second. The pitch down and in for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Indifference as Seager gets down to second base. In a 4-0 ball game. Now time is called. Doman out to the mound. Have a talk with Swarzak as they change up the signs with Kyle on at second base. Remember that pitch by Greg Maddux, who, by the way, will be going into the Baseball Hall of Fame, I believe, next year when he's eligible for the first time. That fastball would start in on a left-handed hitter and then come back over the inside corner. Nasty pitch. The 1-1 pitch is inside on Chavez for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Seager now a lead at second base. Minnesota today 4 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Mariners no runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Down to their final out here in the 9th inning. The 2-1 to Endy. Outside, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Activity in the Minnesota bullpen. A left-hander is warming up. Blanco is due up next. Swarzak looks in, has assigned the stretch, and the 3-1 pitch, swinging a ground ball to the second baseman Dozier. He's got it to throw to first, and it's in time to get Chavez, and the ball game is over. The Twins shut out the Mariners this afternoon. A final score of 4-0. Sam DiDuno was outstanding this afternoon for the Twins. 7 scoreless innings, and he gave up only 3 hits along the way. The 7th time this year the Mariners have been blanked by the opposition, and the Twins win game 3 of the 4-game series. A final score of 4-0. They lead the series now 2-1. We'll be back with the totals and more.